real impromptu live real quick. Let me share this real quick, get it out to everybody. Give me a few seconds. If you're just now tuning in, stay right here, stay right here. You'll be able to hear me in the background, but you won't be able to. Second, guys, I ain't been live in a minute, so, I got to, usually what y'all get from me. I'll share this some more as I go along. I think that'll be enough times. Let me address some things here. Let me tell you something. So about, I want to say, all right, let me start here. What I've been seeing from a lot of different podcasters, et cetera, is this mantra nowadays that everything is about gossip. I've said this a million times. A lot of people, they don't seem to hear what I'm saying. I started doing vlogging about 6 years ago now when the pandemic started. And back then, it was gossip, but it wasn't much gossip as it is now. And it's seeming like, to me, the gossip is ruling even the talent now. And that's a problem. So we got a lot of interventions coming in, and they're not here yet, but it's going to be the same thing as when when cassette turned into CD, and CD turned into the data file, which is now streaming. So this is what's incoming. One, this AI stuff, right? So we know that. But it's not the conversation. The conversation is, if you waste the good years that you have left to make money off of this particular thing here of ours, let me say it like that, ain't going to be no money left. People are selling their whole catalogs nowadays, which I'll get into that in a minute. But people are selling their whole catalogs, and it seems to be towards one company. Selling their whole catalogs. I'm talking about artists that worked 2 years on one song, selling the catalogs. You know what I mean? The hits included, to a firm that will license them out to movies and things of that nature in the future, whatever. So it seems like to me nowadays, and I'm just saying to me, I don't know about everybody else, but it seems like to me there's a lot of gossiping going on. And that gossiping is turning into situations. With Offset, one of the interesting things I see is a lot of the different vloggers and podcasters, they all, hey, what's going on? They all going after what were the intricacies of what happened. And I don't care about that. But I think it was a big mistake for the kid, Little to J, I think that's what his name is, to go online and say, yo, Offset snitched on me. I said, nigga, how? How did he snitch on you? Excuse my French. How did he snitch on you? I don't get that. Like, listen, at that point, it's a fine line between being a victim and being victimizer. I tell y'all this all the time. I try to say it in a subtle way because, whatever reason, but it's a difference between, I've known people that I've known the person that got killed and the nigga that killed him. 4 times. Literally, black, white, and Spanish. I swear to God to you. You know what I'm saying? A little bit further out of Connecticut. So this was his man. See, a lot of people, they're going to miss me with this. This was his man's. This was his man's. Please pay attention to what I'm saying. This was his man's. Make no mistake about it. If you give a nigga 10 grand, I can't get a motherfucker to donate $10 on this motherfucker. So if you get a nigga to give you 10 grand, that's your buddy. It seems it stems from that, but I'm like, well, how would it stem from that if niggas is rich? 10K shouldn't be nothing. Sometimes it ain't like that. Sometimes that jury read. Sometimes that car read. I ain't talking shit. I'm just saying it for my accomplished spirit and someone that was involved actually in the music industry. So that's why this perspective, this is your first time here, this is why I'm saying this like this. Many of y'all don't know I work for BMG, I've worked for Interscope, and I've also worked for Aristide. My name is as printed. You can Google my name. All those are credited will come up alongside MTV. I'm dancing on direct effects and being part of the Burnham and Murray project for 2 consecutive seasons. So you can look all my shit up, it'll come up. I got some shit attached to me with High 97 and a couple other ones. That's why I always tap in with them. Now, be it as it may, you'll say, well, that was in 2015, 16, 17, or whatever. What you got to confront it. See, that's when we get into the Q's and Q's. What you got to confront it. And if it ain't nothing, shut up. Now, listen, this is my thing. Rappers, there's only a few years left with this little thing of ours. I'm trying to tell you. It's like in the Motor Worlds of Casino. This is the last time they ever gave guys like us. We'll find something, right? We always do, as we found this. My point is, this whole lucrative thing with the music thing is coming to an end. Slowly but surely. Some of us could thank Timberland. The producer Timberland. I play. I like the guy. Anyway, listen. Offset got shot by his mans. And that's alarming to me. Because this is somebody that provided him opportunity. This is somebody that provided him a sanctuary. I don't know what his background was, but it sounded like he was in the streets before. You just don't wake up in the morning and be like, you know what, today's going to be the day I pick to start shooting people. That does happen, but it don't happen like that. No, this is somebody that prior had been in this business. That's why I try to tell you. Be careful when you're sitting around on your podcast talking about, yo, no, there are some rappers that really grew up in the 5th floor of the projects and had to walk through a puddle of piss and 18 motherfuckers in the courtyard. You understand what I'm saying? Ducking bullets, you know what I'm saying? Went to the family picnic and motherfucking they got shot up. They've been to funerals, everything else. These motherfuckers know nothing but survival techniques, and they black and Spanish and white alike. Don't you fucking forget it. One of the best guys that was in my crew back in the days, Mr. Rocky, I'll put it that way, Italian, and 4 others. So I'm just telling you, be careful when you online and you talking to these rappers. So now you want, this nigga's a millionaire. These motherfuckers, you give them $1,000 a piece, they'll come at you. You understand what I'm saying? For real, these niggas that thirsty in their hood. So I'm just saying to you, be careful of how you mingle into the story. I don't see too many people worried about Offset's well-being versus being interested in what happened and the intricacies and the details of what Offset had to go through and everything like that. Who shot who did what first, whatever. I'm like, there's a brother in the hospital and y'all applauding the dude that shot him. Where are we at? We'll be the same niggas turn around talking about we got to stop the violence. These y'all kids. If you're over 35 years old, these y'all kids. Now, what the fuck were y'all doing in the early 2000s? Getting high, getting drunk, going to the club, da-da-da-da-da. You know, your mama up in the motherfucking, what's the name, the Freaknik DVD, Hulu had to take it off because they was protesting. Mama was over there busting it down doing the Freaknik back in the day. These y'all kids. And whether you want to admit it or not, and you say, well, my son's not involved in it, he know a motherfucker that is. He know a motherfucker that is. Just like I knew a motherfucker or two that it was. We all know them. It's whether or not you choose to deal in with them. And once you deal in with them, you get in trouble once. It only took me getting in trouble 2 times. I was like, all right, this ain't the shit for me. This ain't the shit for me. I get too greedy. That's my problem. No, I think we can do 30. Hold on. That was my problem that day, and it was the best day ever happened to me. I think we can do 30K today. Let's just try it. That was me. So somebody that's telling you that made a lot of money with the guys that I ran with, and this could be verified. We made hundreds of thousands of dollars, not thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands. When my guys went down, we went down as an organization. So all that RICO shit and all that shit or whatever, thankfully I was in jail when that shit was going on, but a lot of those guys that got charged with that stuff. This is when they first implemented it up here in the Northeast. Best believe that I didn't run around with no pussy guys. Our whole crew was Italian, Latino of all different variations, and black. You know what I mean? Guys out of New York, guys out of, a couple players. I ain't gonna talk too much. I ain't one of them dudes. I got to tell the story of how everything went down. I don't want to be that nigga. That's our story. And I'll find a way to tell it one day that complements something other than motherfuckers, the usual whatever. This was this dude's man's. And once you get something going like this, you get to another plateau of where it is in the game. Now we're saying, and I told y'all earlier, people are sacrificing people. I will sacrifice you for this bread. And usually sacrifice comes with hunger, desperation. Ain't that the same thing y'all was saying we was doing in our elk? The same stuff that y'all accuse the rappers and the CEOs of, y'all are actually engaging in yourself. Hey, what's going on, Elise? Y'all actually, Elise, thank you very much for that donation. I'm glad you was here at that time. I ain't get to tell you last time. Thank you, honestly. You guys are now involved in the same game, except it's digital. That's it. They dishing y'all the information digital, and they making y'all into these digital demonic souls that are just heartless, don't have no empathy, whatever. Most of the people I'm around in the events I go to and stuff like that, it's still people that's, 28 through 45, 6, 7, 8 years old, some a little older. So I'm around like these scenes or whatever, even though I don't vlog them. And letting people know I have vlogged them, and some of them are on here. Designer, who else? Talib Kweli, Nas. There's a whole bunch of this stuff on my page here you can go check out. But I'm around these people, so I know how they think. And the average cat that I talk to that's under like 28 years old, they all got the same story. Single mom. I'll be asking them and I'll be dripping it into the conversation, but they don't realize I'm dripping it into the conversation. And I'm not blaming single moms, because some of the fathers wasn't shit either. I can be admitted to that. But let's not put a color on single fathers. I mean, fatherless, whatever, you know what I mean? Because some of the men, I've seen guys, man, listen, I know a guy right now, and he's Irish, I think. They held that motherfucker for a year and a half, over $13,000, $14,000. I was like, God damn. And he couldn't bail out, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's something they put injunction or whatever on you for that shit. You got to pay partially or some of it or whatever. It took him a year and a half to even have the partial payment to come up with that to get out of there. So the worthless father, if y'all want to call it, come in all degrees, but these kids now are violent, very violent. And I'm thinking, because that cat is younger than Offset, and he popped Offset, and Offset was feeding him. And I remember, I take it back to that time I was watching Cameron, and I think it was Killer Season. I don't know if it was 1 or 2, I don't know. Both of them is fly. Go watch it if you ain't never watched it. What up, Cam? I went in and watched this shit, and I was just like, there was a scene with the little boy. The little boy said, yo, you know what your problem is? I just stopped feeding niggas. That's your problem, Offset. Y'all be feeding the wrong motherfucker. Yo, this is a little such and such or whatever. Some of these grimy guys that y'all got don't want to see you do your best. The job of if you ever seen Star Wars, what did Anakin Skywalker end up doing? He tried to kill Obi-Wan Kenobi. Right? And then when he couldn't kill Obi-Wan Kenobi shortly before that, he took out all the other Jedi. That's what's happening. We having a Jedi resurrection. And a lot of these fucking rappers are trying to take each other out and do the dirt that the motherfucking system couldn't do before. They're trying to eliminate rap, you dumb motherfuckers. They are trying to eliminate rap, and they're going to get y'all to help do it. That is the biggest trick ever. So Aleister Crowley type shit. They're trying, I'll say it to you one more time, okay? And listen to me very, very well. I know how the system works, and I know how the plays go. Y'all don't. Y'all are still guessing. Even if you think you got friends in the industry, they're not going to tell you but certain things, and they know not to tell you but certain things. Some people go overboard, but they catch themselves. I catch them catching themselves many of times, and I appreciate you gentlemen and women that do that. All right, I could talk about the surface, but I ain't got to get too deep into it. I appreciate that. But the modus operandi here, the main motive here now is to get rid of rap music. Rap music is looked at, and this is my alumni, this is what I love, this is the business I sat in. They look at rap music now as being potentially an enabler for violence, which it's not. What it is the same repeated controversy subject that you can have worldwide, whether it's in Bosnia, whether it's in Czech Republic, whether it's in Ukraine, whether it's in Russia, whether it's in Italy, where they had the term ghetto actually comes from, which was a sanctuary, well, I wouldn't even say sanctuary, a dirt pit that they used to put Jewish settlers that they found to be contested. I mean, you go look this up for yourself. This is where the word ghetto comes from. It comes from a Jewish settlement, if you want to say. They don't talk about that Jewish settlement too much, but that's where the word comes from. And this is the God honest truth. The Italians did this. And go look it up for all of y'all that are actually knowledgeable. But poverty has no reared, how can you say it, face. Poverty is universal. Only people that are high intelligence understand this. Everybody else stands as blasphemous and false witnesses when they say anything other than that, because they don't have any other knowledge to provide other than that. You understand? They're trying to divide you. I see it. This was going on, and I think Puff will pay testament to this. I think 50 Cent will pay testament to this, and many others. As 50 went on the first couple of times he was trying to get his record deal. Huh? What was it? Time 4 or 5? 50 got a long story. Rick Ross got a long story too. And it ain't all about being a CO and all that stuff. I hate when they bring that up all the time. I'm like, yo, you calling him Officer Ricky, but there's people out here that would consider some of the shit going on some officer type shit. How about, is that fair? You know what I'm saying? It seems like some officer type shit. Like, what agency are you working for, sir? Never mind. All I'm saying is, you look like you might fold under questioning. That's how they said it. They need to be. You look like you might fold under questioning. That's all I'm saying. God the fuck. I have never thought it would come to this. And y'all gotta understand, my years spending in the music industry was 99 through 2017. I've never seen this shit. When niggas are making more profit off of beefing with each other than motherfucking making money off the actual music. The only people that are making money off the music is the women. The women will go back to each other and be like, you know what, bitch? On Tuesday, I was tripping, bitch. I'm sorry. And then the hoes will go do a song together. Most of the time. It's been, it's a couple fluxes here. Nicki, Cardi. You know what I'm saying? Don't make me pick, because I'm going to pick Cardi. You know what I'm saying? I got family living in Queens, but when it comes to my heart, it's definitely the Bronx. So I gotta, you know what I mean? I wasn't born in the Bronx or nothing like that, but it's just, I got so much history with that borough that it's just, I will always stand with both of them, but it's New York. And I always stand with the tri-state period, Jersey and Connecticut inclusive. I got a long history in NL and a couple other places. Shout out to NL, Connecticut, you know what I mean? A couple other places around in this beautiful state. So make no mistake about that, including where I live at. It's a good place here. Y'all got to get it together. And the first thing to start with, you got to start fueling these fucking vloggers. Let me tell you about these vloggers. These vloggers are none of y'all's friends. Y'all think y'all the nemesis. No, these motherfuckers are the nemesis. You understand? Make no mistake about it. When they sit around and they can, they got these little clever little tropes they put inside their little titles and shit. I never do that too much. I do it with my uploads, but I never do it with the titles of my actual videos of my lives like y'all watching right now. And thank y'all for tuning in with me. I appreciate it. But I never do that BS, because who am I to say your career's over? I don't know your manager. I don't know your bank accountant. I don't know your address to verify how you living. I don't know what kind of vehicle you drive or whatever, but I can hop online and start a conversation with a title said, it's all over for such and such. It's a fall for such and such. It's the beginning of the end for such and such. You ever see those titles? When y'all see titles like that, y'all should avoid those posts, because those posts are made in malicious form. So, meaning they're meant to incite a preferable tone of, I want everybody to argue. And that's like a comparative, we're talking about a village, because that's what many people be talking about. And I'm specifically talking to the FBA right now. And I'm talking to you in a friendly way, so you fuckers calm the fuck down. Listen, I got some things I agree with y'all with, and I'm going to tell you why I agree with you. I agree with you because the tone shift has been different because of a new population that has emerged and a new thinking philosophy that has emerged called identifying with being brown, which I'll get into later on. Because I find it quite hilarious, because they try to make it synonymous with white power and shit like that, and they think all white people are inclusive of that. I grew up around Greeks and Italians. All right, and I'm telling you, no, most white people are not racist like that. You know what I'm saying? Greeks and Italians are not white per se, but I mean, after they grow up third, fourth generation, you start to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so nah, that definitely is not the truth. Most whites ain't racist. Most whites are anti-asshole. I'll tell you that much. Definitely anti-asshole. They don't even like white assholes. Y'all need to look up some of these videos where y'all see motherfucking white folks beefing with other white folks. That's the funniest shit. Because they always find some hillbilly. There'll be some stand-up motherfucker. This motherfucker with the Yale or something. And he's like, yo, why am I arguing with you? I just want this moment to be over, all right, I'm babbling a little bit. Let me get to the stiff of what I'm talking about here. There's been for a long time an encouraging factor where they want to end rap music. They want to get it up out of here. And I think it came in with gangster rap. There was this lady named C. Dolores Tucker. Y'all should look up C. Dolores Tucker. I don't know per se if she was from Harlem or in Harlem, because most people Like people be talking about, yo, I'm real New York. Da, 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 da. No, you not. You from motherfucking Puerto Rico. Yo, I'm real New. No, you not. You from motherfucking Cleveland, Ohio. I'm real New York. No, you not. You from Columbus, Georgia. Like most of the people, it was a whole migration period that happened, and my family and other families they were involved in it, and they went as far as north as Pennsylvania, Jersey, and where my family started out at Pennsylvania, all the way up to Canada and Nova Scotia up there, which I've been to 2 or 3 times. Shout out to Miss Carvery. That was one of my homegirls. But she took me up into Canada for my first time. This a couple of years ago, not a long time ago either. So, yeah, if y'all don't know, if y'all not familiar with Nova Scotia is where Sojourner Truth was taking all the slaves to. And there's actually a statue for her, I think in Attleboro, Massachusetts. Y'all have to double check on that, but I believe it's in Attleboro. They have a statue up there where she died. You could go up there and visit it. So I would encourage y'all to go up there and check it out. It's in Attleboro, Massachusetts. But she was leading all the slaves from down south up into Canada or whatever. So when you get to Canada, you've got this first huge province, which is 50-50. Some of it's opulous, some of it's poor, just like anywhere else. But you have this large inundation of like once black Americans, now Canadians, and they've been there since the 1800s. Same thing in Mexico. I'm going to show y'all something with that too. I'm talking about the slaves were going to the Mexicans invited the slaves in under Vicente, I think that's what his name was at the time. So there's a whole population. That's what I'm trying to tell people. It's a difference between Latin Caribbean and Latin American. Latin American, except for Peruvians, have some blacks. They have black Peruvians, believe it or not. Y'all should look them up. There's black Colombians, because they have a black Colombian president, believe it or not, and female vice president. And I think Argentina has a few. What happens is you get the slave, there's a couple of things that happen when you get from Latin Caribbean to Latin America, but I'll get into that in another time. Anyway, listen, my point is they're trying to end rap. I want to get back to that, and I'm sorry I took off a moment. I got so much shit locked up here, I don't have to Google shit. But they want to end rap, and they've been trying to do it since the 2000s. I can vouch for this. They tried to do it with Puff when they saw Puff was making a lot of money. They tried to do it with Jay. They didn't want Jay in certain doors or whatever. MTV was some of the doors they didn't really want Jay in at first. He'll tell you that. They wasn't always inviting to him up there. Hell, Will Smith, they never wanted it in the first place. I mean, to be honest with you, MTV, which really don't exist no more, but MTV, there was a year, y'all can look this up, where all the rappers protested. I think it was the Grammys or the MTV Awards, one of the two, but they protested it. Yeah, it was the MTV Awards, because the MTV Awards didn't want to acknowledge rap music. And Will Smith, as much as y'all talk shit about him, if it wouldn't have been for him protesting, that day with Salt and Pepper, who else? Public Enemy is in that photo. I believe Heavy D is in that photo, and a couple other people. But y'all just go check out the photo. You'll see it for yourself, and the article if there's one available. But those dudes stood up for y'all so we can keep this thing going here, whatever. So, it's like, man, I don't feel like people should be so indulged in this whole gossip game that's going online that goes back and forth. And now it's fueled by BEEFS, documentaries, and we like stuff that we swore we would never do. What happened to that? So that's why I can understand what some of y'all look at it like academics and other people, and y'all be like, yo, these are supposed to be the real niggas. What happened? This is out here making documentaries. I ain't shooting shots at nobody. I'm just saying, because I ain't in it. But I'm just saying, I mean, I'm in it on the end with Puff, but other than that, I mean, everybody else, ain't anybody riding for me. You know what I'm saying? But except for the people I know. Already in the music industry and friends. I want to make that clear, because there's been some people that looked out for me wonderfully lately. Wonderfully. Reached out to me because they saw me on here. It was like, well, my nigga, I got you. Like, what you trying to do? I was like, I'm trying to get this studio time shit done. Trying to get something out there. And I'm rusty. So I just need to get it. And that rustiness is wore off. So, y'all hear that in a minute. But my point is, man, they've been trying to end rap since the early 2000s. Under Puff, Jay, 50 even. They ain't want 50 in the door. You know what I'm saying? Ask 50 about that time when he said, yo, they was pretty much looking at him like, yo, if we get this nigga $1 million, he might go around and kill everybody in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? What I'm talking about is many of these different vloggers, they don't understand that the same way y'all being pitched a game as artists, as even subscribers, we're all being pitched a game from an algorithm. That's what I'm talking about collectively. So what I mean is there's like this chess game that's being played, and I've seen it because I've been vlogging here for almost this will be my 7th year coming up now. So I know this a little bit more than a lot of other people that just join into it. No, it ain't like that, Greg. I want to explain to you because you just must have got here. The people don't understand is it's a bounce off of everything. So for example, there's something that really happens, whether it's facilitated or whether it really happened, like with Offset getting shot, right? And so what happens then is now the vlog is attached to it. Now the vlog is attached to it, but they only attach to the details. They're not worried about the actual person that got shot, harmed, killed, whatever. Now we move to the next frame. All right, can we get so-and-so for the exclusive sit down? See, and then it starts all over again. You see what I'm saying? And it starts all over again after that. Then it starts all over. So pretty soon it starts becoming like a high. These niggas don't even know they drug addicts, but you drug addicts, your dopamine is motherfucking gossip. This is the best trick ever. And that's why I said can't nobody speak about this, because the way I speak, people don't like it. So the only people that can speak about it and validate it are those that are truly high. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how the first father feel nowadays as far as his health, but you know what I mean? We need Calypso Louis to maybe speak. Calypso Louis will put this in perspective for all y'all. We're being run a game, and I feel like this. I feel like if Calypso Louis said it versus me saying it, it'd be a whole totally different game, because then y'all would get it. Even if you were the youngest of the youngest, then you would get it. Then y'all would get it. And I had to say it like that, because even if I say his name, you know what I mean, the other way or whatever, but that's who they're going to listen to. So I asked the messenger, and I asked this humbly. And I was with a woman under the denomination for many of years, if you understand what I'm saying. I asked humbly of the messenger, you need to come forward, even if you just have a statement written and have somebody read it off. We need that. Have your son read it, or have Khadijah read it. But have someone read it, because it's needed right now, just like you did that march before. They're going to take these kids and hovering them in a direction where they're going to become so demonic that they don't give a fuck about each other no matter what. And what will happen is a total, complete annihilation, because now they're not procreated. They don't love each other. They don't want to spend money with each other. Everything that's faceted under them has to be faceted under something that's European accent. And it's not natural for them, because you come from the fifth floor of the projects walking through a puddle of piss, but you want to drive German, you want to dress English, and you want to motherfucking live Swedish. You know what I mean? And that goes for all Americans, really. Consumption. They're trying to end rap with these beefs and these arguments that I just facilitated for y'all. These raps and these beefs and everything like that are becoming the replacement for the music. So now, only thing you have to do is mention something in the music. Once you mention something in the music, all that happens after that, everybody starts talking about it. Then the cycle begins, and they sit down and talk about why they was beefing with it. Then they talk about it. And it's just the same repeated cycle. And I'm like, niggas, there's a war going on. We just went to the moon the other day. Where are the true intellects, even the so-called intellects that vlog? They be involved in it. They be involved in it. So, you know, I always watch for the niggas that talk the most articulate. First thing I come out of my mouth is, where you grew up at? Where you grew up at? You understand what I'm saying? And that's not definitive of you stupid. Your mother could have been a Rhodes Scholar. Only thing I'm saying is, or your father. Only thing I'm saying is, a lot of times these guys, they try to get overly articulated. And I watch for people that are always overly articulated. I worked in an office environment at BMG, that's a Bertelsmann music group, from the time I was, 21? I started as an intern and came in and stayed there to 2017 onward. I've been all across the country, et cetera, and I'm trying to, and y'all can go look this up. Y'all can go view my photos that I put up, video I put up, everything else to confirm this. You can see me at Daddy's House Recording Studio right here on this page. So make no mistake about it. I done done it. And I'm trying to tell you guys what they're trying to do right now, because the band has become so lucrative as far as rap that making nuances of it and making like splits of it. And they did this before during the 60s. During the 60s, they took rockabilly music, made it into rock and roll. They took blues music, elevated that to set. That's the same thing they're doing now. So you're seeing K-pop replace it. You're seeing artists that, you listen to a lot of these K-pop artists, you could tell it's black writers. They did the same thing in the 60s, 50s, 40s. Same thing. You know what I'm saying? If you've never seen it, go watch the movie with Beyonce when she played Etta James. I forgot what the name of it is. But go watch that movie. You'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. Etta James was damn near penniless when she passed away. And a lot of these artists happen to always be Sammy Davis Jr., Red Fox. If you ever seen Harlem Nights or whatever, you're going to have the same outcome. The money's not going to last anymore. They want to eradicate rap because they believe that the rap that we naturally generate is somehow or another propelling society to become violent, and it's actually the issue. Well, I don't hear nobody playing rap music when Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin went after him. I didn't hear nobody playing rap music when they tried to take out the president 2 times. I didn't hear nobody playing rap music in any of these mass shootings that they have in these schools, or the dude that drove into the church in Detroit out there, in Michigan. You understand? And set the truck on fire and started shooting people. Was he playing rap music? So what we really have is, and I want to speak to white America on this one. I grew up around you. This is not a racist tenement, but whatever, but it has to be said. You have a portion of white America now that has become, and I think it's encouraged, and I've seen this with black America too, and Latin America, has been encouraged to be avid racists because they feel that their racism will be hidden online. And I'm an advocate for starting to find out where these motherfuckers work at. Because these are people that work with the public. These are people that work in hospitals. These are people, you ever talk about how black people get bad health care and everything like that? If you don't know the right hospital or the right doctor, you will. But this is attributed factors to this. So when I see white America nowadays, I see a split. I see people that are not with the racism thing or whatever, don't blame rap music. And then I see these group of white people that seem to be in the hundreds of thousands sometimes that are online in these different posts. And they'll say things like the usual suspects and all these other different little tropes. And I'd be like, okay, well, why are you so vocal when somebody white does a mass shooting and kills other white people? Where's that same vigor, energy, or whatever? And instead of confronting that, they will argue with you about how you wrong or throw some nuanced type of punch at you and think they're doing some type of reverse psychology thing or whatever. And I'd be like, oh, you must think I'm dumb. I got you. You think I'm dumb. Now, for that partition of white Americans, you're a problem too, and you're a cancer to the society right now. I don't know where your energy is coming from. Many of these people that scream this stuff, they don't even live around black people. They've never even been around black people or Latin people screaming that they're racist. You confront them with truths, and they get alarmed. I'll give you an example. The DOJ, that's the Department of Justice, feel free right now to go to their website. You will find several articles. One of them is, who are the most leading pedophilia and sexual assaulters in the United States? You will see white American men are attached to that, the highest proportion there is. Since 1981, since they've been taking demographics, you will also see a partition for mass male shooters. You will find that almost 80% of them were white males up to this date. This is very true. If you go look at the Department of Agriculture, you will find some demographics where you will find, because white population is 62% of this country, you will also find that they lead in all types of government aid. Lead in them, literally. And when I say lead, I'm talking about 48% of their population is on some type of state welfare assistance or whatever. Go to Department of Agriculture, look up these demographics for yourself. That way you know I'm not going from an independent foray. I'm not going from this one. No. This is from the Department of Justice and the Department of Agriculture. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I want to continue with. Give me 1 second here. We've got an idiot in here that wants to interrupt the conversation because they don't have anything better to do. So I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to attest to you and I'm going to answer you. This was said, do you know who Shrinker Bell is? I've been going by the name Shrinker Bell since, 2019 now. I'm answering your question. You want to answer questions, so I'm going to answer your question. And in y'all contention, because you think of everything literally, everything is literal nowadays, you know what I mean? This is where the emotions come in. He literally said, that's why people will follow the conversation. Watch for people to say this. I mean, literally, and keep saying it over and over and over. If you say it once or twice, sometimes it fits. But people always say, it's literally. Let me answer this question. In the TV show, eventually, Shrinker Bell motherfucking I guess he snitches on Avon or something like that. I'm not that Stringer Bell. See, this Stringer Bell is what you call the euphoria of it. You understand what I'm saying? Now, if you want to talk about, I guess, character present as far as artists, I'm an artist. I'm not a blogger. I'm an artist. I've sold music. You understand? So, Stringer Bell, to me, is intelligent. You're saying with the streets. To me, Avon Boxdale is the same information. You understand? Same thing with, Proposition Joe. And a lot of other kids that's played on that show. It's not a literal transaction. Now, if you want to be a literal transaction, that's the way you think. You're encouraged to think like that. I don't think you get very far in life, because you're going to find in opposition, when you get around people that actually have money, they're going to look at you like you're a fool for answering the question like that. So I hope I answered your question. What is your name? Amigo 63 boy, whatever your name is. Huh? Now, if you'll let me continue, I hope I answered your question. This type of logging, there are a lot of people who are used to and encourages stuff like that from subscribers. I saw with Rick Ross. I saw with Rick Ross this recently. Said he wanted to give 50 Cent $1.5 million for Lloyd Banks' catalog and Young Buck. Since we're speaking of the wire, you might have to rewind this part to understand what I'm talking about. Prop Joe. Anyway, Prop Joe said, 1.5. That's a low ball figure. He was saying basically Young Buck catalog was worth, entire catalogs were $750,000. He was saying that Lloyd Banks was probably worth around $1 million, slightly more. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. I ain't putting money on the betting table, you know what I'm saying, myself. I'm not investing money, so it's unbeknownst to me to delve myself into these endeavors. Bugatti boys. But I'll just say this. I don't know where Rick Ross could have ever got an idea like that. Yeah. What do you guys think? I want to know eventually what you think. This is what I think, but I like to know who's listening to me and what they think. Some people don't care. I like to know. Like I said, once again, Rick Ross, and I don't know if he did this on purpose or whatever the case he may do, but he said today, Lloyd Banks' catalog is worth somewhere around $1 million, 500,000, something like that. Give me 1 second, y'all. And then he said, I'll also take up my Young Bucks catalog for $750. I said, motherfucker. And I ain't laughing at them. I'm just like, those are like, even Buck and like, say what you want to say about him and Banks and where their career went. They're phenomenal artists, especially Lloyd Banks. I mean, I can get into Lloyd Banks a little bit more. I can get into Buck, but I can mess with Buck's music. You know what I'm saying? So, would they have some relatively, you know what would be the bullshit? Let me tell you what would be the bullshit. The bullshit would be if he really did do that and pulled a puff and gave them niggas their publishing back. I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if he would do something like that. Who knows? I don't know these things. I don't know anything. But I'm just saying. What if he bought the publishing and he didn't buy the publishing to manipulate nobody? He bought the publishing just to give it back to them. I think that would be a very philanthropic move. Wouldn't you think so? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows these things? I don't know. I'm just saying. Merry Christmas. Anyway, Stringer Bell. Listen, right? This is what I'm saying to you guys. I want to continue the other conversation outside because I see y'all ain't too much into that. It's saying like, sure, whatever you want to call it. I got you. But Offset, I want to continue with that. Y'all can give y'all comments on that or whatever as much as you want to. Offset, I say this to you, Playboy. Keep certain people away from you, man. I think right now, and I want to say this again or whatever, because I'm not really all about this sitting here talking about, oh yeah, well, homeboy, he went on camera and people saying, oh, he was saying Offset was snitching or whatever. All right, if you're gonna get on camera and say Offset was snitching, fucking Tekashi 6ix9ine been out here scalawagging and snitching for fucking a decade plus. Y'all niggas ain't did nothing to him. George Zimmerman was out here shitting and scooting. Y'all ain't touch him. But y'all ready to beef with each other. That's the shit that be getting to me. I'll be like, yo, you ready to beef with him, but y'all ain't ready to go get George Zimmerman. Y'all ain't ready to go get. The government had to come in and finally shut him down. He was doing too much. He sold the gun he shot Trayvon with. I was like, I ain't never heard no shit like that. Like, that's crazy. He should have been going up out of here. Well, in my opinion, I'm not saying I'm giving orders for that. I'm just saying in my opinion. Who say I could give orders for anything? I'm nobody. I'm just a small man trying to gather a couple of dollars here, and I'm trying to invest into a donut shop. So, only thing I'm saying to you is, yo, Offset, number one, watch who hangs around you from now on moving towards the future. This is the guy that you said was a friend of yours, and he turned around and he shot you over 10K, evidently. You understand what I'm saying? And, you know, I hear he keeping street reputations and everything like that and trying to keep it real, but Offset, this ain't the day and the age of that no more. These new rappers, a lot of them grown up not knowing nothing about love. Ain't nobody ever embraced them. Ain't nobody ever gave them a hug. Ain't nobody ever said, yo, I love you. Ain't nobody ever said nothing to these kids like that. So they don't know that. You understand? So you got to be careful when y'all, and I say this to everybody, be careful when you bring these little young motherfuckers into your circle. They more attached to the digital world. They'll sell you out quickly. You understand? Now I'm saying no to sunshine. You want to see the sunshine? See the sunshine? See, genius? See, that's the sunshine right there. The sunshine is in my eyes. And anybody that writes something like that in my chat room evidently is somebody that doesn't want me to get a message like this across. You want to see more violence. I want y'all to pay special attention to Ellie Marone. That's your name? I want you to pay special attention to him. He wants to see the chaos keep going. And there's a lot of these subscribers, commenters on various different websites you'll find like this. Nah, keep the confusion going on. I want to see motherfuckers die and get killed. Now, you go do that on your time. I'm not even going to block you, so you can stay here. Now you see what I mean. Look at that comment and look at what I was talking about. You understand what I'm saying? Only person that would talk against that is somebody that wants to keep confusion going, and that's what you got now. You got commenters, subscribers, or whatever. They have been put in the age right now in the past 5 or 6 years where they know nothing but gossip, chatter, and demonizing people and trying to see people explode and implode and crush and lose it and crash out. That ain't crashing out. I know some niggas that used to crash. Crash out to us is a nigga go in there, he don't give a fuck who in there and shoot like Bishop and Juice. That's crashing out. Crashing out. It's like, yo, nigga, I just lost 10. You ever seen Baby Boy in State Property? 100K. Nigga, what? Nigga, what? Watch that scene in State Property Factory. So, only thing I'm saying to you is, you know what I mean? Also, watch who's around you. You know what I mean? In the near future, Brody. We want to see you around, you a legacy. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on internally with you, but I would suggest that to other people too. Watch the young artists you have around you. I heard Spot him got him. He's still locked up for some BS. You know what I mean? Good luck to him, whatever he got going on. Dirk gone. You understand what I'm saying? Dirk and Vaughn gone pretty much right now, which is terrible. And Reese gone. Reese supposed to be getting out in November or something. Shout out to Lil Reese. It's just us, nigga. Chicago, what's happening? But got a lot of love in Chicago, Joliet as well. I got cousins live out there, and I got this people that I've known for years. I don't know, it's this weird connection between Chicago and New York. Always has been, in my opinion. There's gonna be people that like it or don't love either one of them, and there's gonna be people that love both of them. All said, I'm gonna tell you, man, watch who you got up under you. Stop borrowing money from people. Don't borrow money from nobody. The minute you got to borrow money from somebody as an artist, they look at you as, oh, I can get them. The minute you start joking with a motherfucker, try to keep them up under your wing, try to be cool with, oh, I can get them. That's why I always keep the same attitude. Fuck you. Always have. Anybody that knows me knows that. I've always kept the same attitude. Fuck you. And you have to keep that attitude. You hear that Porsche in the background? Anyway. always keep that same attitude, because the pure simple fact, if I don't keep that attitude, there's always going to be people like that. And I've learned that watching the music industry. If you're nice in the music industry, people will take advantage of you. They look at you as weak. You are the competition. Never make example of anything other than that. You are the competition. Now with this vlog and stuff, same thing. This is why I don't do sit downs with niggas. Niggas ask me, I covered the Diddy trial in person because I worked for Diddy, and most of y'all know that. You know what I'm saying? They watch me. I worked there for 17 years around the business and everything like that. So I was down there in the flesh. And I came up because all kinds of opposition for being down there, because I was attached to the company. There was people down there telling, don't donate to him, don't support him, it's all right, it's all right. Yeah, that was niggas though. You know what I'm saying? And it was all black people. There wasn't no white people saying that, was black people. And I said, oh, there's a covenant change here. Now, you ain't gotta like Diddy. I ain't trying to force it down your throat. I ain't trying to say pause. I ain't trying to say, yo, you should feel sympathy for him, because I ain't here for that. What I'm telling you though is, look at the sentiment around it. And that's what y'all gotta start looking at, the sentiment around things. Y'all look at things from a surface level. Oh, such and such is beefing. What's the ramifications? Well, a nigga could get shot, a nigga could get killed. And you as a chat room, y'all could encourage that. I'll give you another example. There was a kid, and there's been several times this has happened on social media, where people in chat rooms will encourage people to commit harm to themselves or other people. And a couple of states have enacted like laws against this stuff. I think Omaha was one of them, and a couple of other ones, but mostly Midwest and things like that in South. I haven't seen anything for the Worcester, but it would be apparent that it's an issue with people being able to influence people online in a certain way that will enable them to do certain things. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the sad thing about it. So I want you guys to start looking at something. Number one, watch very carefully who you listen to online. A lot of these people are here to just sell you a narrative, and that's it, and that's quite all they want to sell you. They want to sell you a narrative of the day because it means a check from AdSense. It means a check, you know, you get 100,000 views or whatever, you're good to go. I know I'm an AdSense guy myself, so you know what I'm saying? That's all you got to really do. For example, I do 100,000 views in the first 4 days. You know, it doesn't actually, it's what the CPM is, it actually trickulates to something that's of worth. So let me tell you guys this. When you circulate these stories, and you have these vloggers that go into the insidious factories and they say, yo, what can I make up this time? What can I say to somebody this time to get them fired up, beef? I've seen people, I saw one fella this recently talk about, yo, I hate rappers. I want to see them all destroyed. I said, word? And he's one of those people that always got his shit titled, it's over for such and such. They're done after this. Such and such is finished after this. That's the one. That's the tropes right there. You like, this nigga, you live in Ohio, how the fuck you know? You live in Nebraska, how the fuck you know? Or they'll lie on you. That shit should be the new one too. You know, I'm a drug addict because I smoke cigarettes. That's interesting. Ain't a video on this motherfucker. And people that know me in real life, and people that have been in my chat room even testified to it before they know me in real life, and they've been in here, and you know, if you interacted with them or whatever, but I find that it's kind of insidious that these chat rooms and these subscribers or whatever, they go around and they make up stuff about people now. Like when Offset first got shot, people was making up all kinds of different scenarios. And I was like, yo, we don't know. They ain't even charged nobody. And then homeboy came out himself and said, yeah, I shot him. I said, you just admitted on social media that you popped somebody. Boy, you crazy? Who's your lawyer? Huh? The law offices of such and such and such. The fuck is wrong with this kid? Like, I meant to throw in that part. That's why I shot. I was like, yo, you went on camera and told him you shot a nigga? Fall for the feds. Yeah, the feds ain't gonna be there. There's a couple of these motherfuckers, man, that's doing some time. They thought the feds was gonna be there too. No, the feds ain't there. Dirk thought the feds was gonna be there. Feds ain't there, are they? Now I'm saying only the real niggas is Kanye, people like that. No. Kanye, same motherfuckers. People don't give Kanye enough credit. Everybody's talking this stuff about Kanye right now, but the truth is, Kanye was the one that came down to the courthouse when they had the little situation, you know what I'm saying, with Diddy. It was Kanye that came out to what's the name and dealt with, you know what I mean, more of a different thing. So when we talk about, I guess what we say, when we talk about realness, we'd have to point out Kanye West. He's been there for Dirk, had Dirk on the phone. He's been there for Puff, had Puff on the phone, been there for the kids. what more can you ask of somebody that you in a binding situation and that man come through? You understand? Some people don't understand the dynamic of that. They just celebratory in the fact that, oh, we used to party together. No, all right, nigga, we used to party together. Whatever. That means something, right? You part of my memories. Anytime I bring up a memory, I gotta bring up you. Anytime I bring up a memory of traveling, anytime I bring up a memory of good times, the parties and stuff I was exposed to, and the artists, many that I met, and people in the music industry or whatever, I gotta test all that to Diddy. So why the fuck wouldn't I be down there? Let me see what the fuck these niggas talking about. Let me see if they right or wrong. And as I said from the beginning, and I kept saying, and I'll continue to say, and I'm not trying to make anything for him, and it's on his page to be documented. I said, I don't see him doing all this shit, because I was around for 17 years. We would have seen that shit. Now, there was probably some shit going on that I didn't know about. I wouldn't went them 24 hours a day. You know, who was? But it wasn't no shit like that. Wasn't no shit like they were addressing. Talking about he had guns in the house. Of course he got guns in the motherfucking house. You know who this nigga is? This nigga worth $1 billion. You have guns in the house too. Let them niggas come one time. Let them niggas come through the door one time. Let them motherfuckers niggas come through the door one time. You understand? So yeah, man, I just like on that one right there, I have to say, you gotta be real careful, Offset, who you got around you in the future. Don't be so giving to a lot of these artists. Don't be so equate with it, you know, oh man, I'm trying to, because that's southern hospitality he was given. Watch who you make millionaires. There's many stories of kings. You can even watch Game of Thrones to see this. And you'll see, remember when the Lannisters lost it all? Remember that part? The Lannisters lost it all. And all of them got scurried over the different parts of the lands and everything like that. And some of them, nobody would help them at all. Some of them had to fight to regain their spot on the throne. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm asking of y'all. Y'all got to fight. Y'all got to stop with this gossiping shit. Like, rappers is talked about the streets all their motherfucking life, and we know you do something to somebody. I know some of these guys. Y'all be surprised who I know personally, and who personally know me, and we just... Nah. You know what I'm saying? Don't say nothing. I don't need nobody to vouch for me. I'm thorough. I walk all around by myself. You understand what I'm saying? I don't need nobody to vouch for me no more. I'm too old for niggas to be vouching for me. If you vouch for anything, it's vouch for something I asked them. You asked you to vouch for. Other than that, nah. You can give your personal opinion about me, though. I'd appreciate that. But I ain't here to impress niggas. Never had, never will be. Maybe that's why I ain't make it as big as I should have made it so far, thus far. You know what I mean? But nah, I ain't never been a crowd pleaser. Fuck you. That's always been my motto. Fuck you. When you learn how to say fuck you evilly and distribute it to a certain level where I respect you and we're respectful, but if you say fuck me, I'm going to say fuck you harder. Yo soy el cubano la mareno. Tú sabes, un claro que se no grito ahí. Él me corazón ahí, se. Tú sabes, no? So I don't, yeah, fuck all that. Listen. What's the other thing I say to Offset? I don't know if you and Cardi should get back together. I said this the other day. And I say this jokingly. Respetaron las mujeres. Entonces, pero nada, pero la niño, esa bon chinchero. Ahí se, tú sabes, claro, right? Listen. Offset, go on and take your ass home. Try to go home. Try to go home, bro. Go talk to each other, whatever, because at the end of the day, you got kids by her, that crazy Dominican girl. You didn't know what you was into. You should have spent some more time in New York. You would have known what you was into. That crazy Dominican chick, she got love for you. That's one thing about Dominican women. If they love you, they'll talk shit about you, do crazy shit on you or whatever. That's just the way they are. That's just the way they are. They always gonna be. That's just the fucking way they are. I've dated enough Dominicans. I hang out with nothing but Dominicans and Hondurans. So, and a few Cubans that are in New York. You know what I mean? Most of the Cubans in Jersey. But it become apparent at some point, or in Queens. But it becomes so apparent sometimes that, like, I don't know, man. You gotta. Sometimes chicks fuck up. I know a dude right now, and I ain't gonna say his name. His chick went out and had a baby, and they got back together, and they doing fine. It depends on where your heart at. But with the amount of kids that you got, boy, go on and stop Yeah, you ain't got to stop hanging out. You ain't got to get married again or nothing like that. But come to some terms with Cardi, and I think y'all work better as a unit. I know y'all saying, yeah, she look good by herself on stage or whatever, all that empowerment shit and all that, and Stephon Diggs. No shots at Stephon Diggs, but I mean, you know, at this point, that's a side baby, respectfully. And sometimes, you know, sometimes you bitch go out and have a side baby. You know what I'm saying? I ain't making fun of nobody. I mean, it happens, especially in New York Tri-State. I've seen that shit a million times. Oops, or oops, baby. You know what I'm saying? Oops. You know what I'm saying? What we gonna do? Well, shit, I mean, we a family now. You got 3 in, nigga. You winning either way or another. 4, excuse me. Well, 3, yeah. You got 3 in, you winning either way to go. You know what I'm saying? You still head honcho. You know what I'm saying? She ain't go have 3 more, you know? Go on back home, boy. All this spawned from you hanging out. That's what you don't get. See, if you at home, you ain't hanging out like that. I hang out too. I go out once, twice out of the week or whatever. Just to get away from this shit right here, this log and shit. But also, listen to me. If you got bought 10K from a motherfucker to go gambling, you can't gamble. And I live in a state that's home of gambling. Okay, we got Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun out this motherfucker. You understand? So that's what we know about gambling. They got this little corner for them, just like they got in Vegas. They got this little corner for all the people that lost the mortgage, all the people that lost kids' tuition. That little corner. What happened? Phil, no, you didn't. I thought I could double it up, bitch. I thought I could double it up. What happened? We're going to have to sell the house. We got to be out of here by Thursday, Sarah. Shit. I seen it. So if you got a bought 10K, that means you need to leave. You understand me? If you ever find yourself in the casino and outside of a problem that you can't touch your card or you lost your card, listen to me very carefully, or you lost your card or, you know what I'm saying, by some happenstance or whatever, you just can't obtain your money at the point or whatever, and it happens at other places at the strip club. Just fold out and get in that Uber or get your driver to take you on the fuck on where you going. Because see, behind the whole premise in this and what these other blogger niggas won't tell you is the reason you got shot is because you was hanging out. You don't get it, huh? The reason you got shot is repercussions from you hanging out. And I'm not saying you deserved that, but I'm saying you was hanging out with niggas that was already plotting on you. That nigga been plotting on you, boy. Crazy. He been plotting on you. You don't just all of a sudden be like, yo, you know what? I'm going to shoot this nigga right now. That just don't happen. He had been plotting on you. So stop hanging out tight, hanging out, you know, you got to shut it down. Just, you know, go hang out in Paris. Where it's safer. You know, a little bit anyway. Go hang out in Germany somewhere or something. I mean, they know you're there too, but I won't ever hear Offset getting arrested or getting shot at. No, he got shot in Florida. You got to stay out of hot spots. So you ain't got to be in them motherfucking clubs no more, nigga. You ain't never had to work them clubs in the first place. Stop trying to work them now. A lot of artists make that mistake. They try to work spots and clubs. Oh, I can get a new element right here. Sometimes that element ain't for you. You know what I mean? Now, I'm dead serious. A lot of artists try to do that. They try, I can get a new audience. Sometimes your best audience is your old audience. You don't believe me? Ask Madonna. You don't believe me? Ask the Rolling Stones. You don't believe me? Ask Willie Nelson. You don't believe me? Ask Shaka Khan. You don't believe me? Ask Stevie Wonder. Them legend followers and spenders are the ones you want. Those are the ones that keep the lights on. They with you throughout the years, decades, and all that. You don't realize that Shaka Khan been doing music since like the 70s, bro. Better wake up. Same thing with Stevie since the 60s. And these people still have, go look up their numbers right now. You'll see they far surpassing your modern artists nowadays. Except for maybe a Drake or a Jay-Z or something like that. But the average artist, you'll see. And these guys are filling in 40,000 plus seats. They're not just doing 30 and under. You know what I'm saying? They're doing 40 and over. So you do 40 and over arenas, you're somebody. Trust me on this at that age. That's why I tell people all the time, and I figured it out. I said, it ain't about doing music, it's about the genre of music I'm doing. I need to switch the genre of music I'm doing, and that's what I did. I'm like, yeah, I still rap and everything like that here and there, but that's not the everything no more. Definitely not. You understand? Moving on. What's the other thing I wanted to talk about? Offset, I would say this. And tell what I said you should go on home to Shorty. I don't mean go home and y'all make up, play house again. just go over there and talk to her, because I'm pretty sure she might not admit it to you, but the moment she heard that Cardi was scared, I guarantee you, my baby daddy could have been dead. And I watched and went to, I can't confirm this, I'm pretty sure she did, went to the funeral. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. You understand? So I at the same time, I empathize with Cardi B at the same time, but she must be going through mentally. She watched the other brother die. Well, she didn't watch it, but she went through the process. That was the, you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I just say that. Go on over there and see what's going on, all said. You know what I'm saying? Don't. It might be God waking you up or something like that. And I hope, Cardi, you checked in on him. I hope you somehow or another, I ain't seen nothing yet. I'm gonna look, but I hope she went over there and visited him at least. You know what I'm saying? Make sure Offset, all right, that is your baby daddy, no matter how much y'all get into. You got 3 kids by him, so keep it BX. You heard, Cardi? Keep it Bronx. You heard? I say it again for you, Mom. No matter how mad you are at him, what y'all had going on, what supersedes and what makes y'all mature, because y'all still young, what makes y'all mature is being like, yo, listen, I was worried about you. Had that conversation, you know what I'm saying? Regardless, and also be able to accept that conversation if you hear this. Don't just go into it argue. But you was fucking with this Stephon dude. Look at this. You got this side. Don't even have that conversation. Let's have a conversation about y'all and the future of y'all. Those are little kids. Culture, all your beautiful kids, they got to grow up some more. And I'm sure most of them want to see you for the 18th birthday. I say that as from a kid, a guy that ain't even got no kids, but I understand that, you know. And I don't want to see Offset out of here. And more of you vloggers should be asking, what's going on with Offset? Is he well? Is he? It's just disgusting me. None of these vloggers, they just worried about the details. And I heard that and yeah, girl, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? We got a whole generation of tattletales, gossipers, and hey girls. Did you sip the tea? So that's what I gotta ask now. Rappers, are we sipping the tea? Well, no, y'all niggas. Because I just talk about what's on my mind. Are niggas sipping the tea now? That's my question. And I hope somebody will write in the chat room, because I see y'all in there. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to write anything or say anything or dispel anything or whatever. Any artist folks in here, don't do it though. I don't want none of the artists. Don't do that. But can anybody explain to me, is everybody like a tea sipper now? Is like everybody just running around and gossiping? And y'all gotta pardon me, the light is in my eye right now because the sun is going down. But is everybody a gossiper now, B? Is everybody just spilling the tea? Is everybody just like, yo, you know what? And guess what, girl? Because I think that was prominent in the conversation with Offset. Even when he got shot, wasn't no people online really asking, yo, son, all right? That was the first question I asked. The first question I asked wasn't who shot him and what's the details, girl. No, the first question I asked was, yo, is he all right? And that's the first thing I went to go look at. I was more enthused by that than I was about who shot him. I didn't give a shit who shot him. I like that artist. I like his solo work better, and I gotta be honest, and respect to the Migos, I like his solo work better than I like his group work, except for a couple of tracks where I believe they work together, but they didn't work together on everything. That's my personal opinion of the Migos, as far as the sound and everything. But as far as him as an artist, Offset was dope as fuck. I started listening to his solo show. I was like, oh, okay. I've listened to 2 joints now, and I'm going more through the catalog of like his just solo stuff. Like he very rarely has too many ones that have like features that I like, but he's a good artist. You know what I mean? I work with him. So the only thing I'm saying is people weren't even worried about if Offset was dead or alive. They was worried about who shot him, girl. What's the details, girl? Hit the Cash App, girl, because we're going to find out who shot Offset. I saw a nigga do a 9-hour live, who shot Offset, but didn't ask if Offset was alive. Is he well? Did he make it through surgery? You know, so these are questions that I think a lot of people in this sphere right here online, people got to start asking themselves. Do we care more about the information and the details than we do about the actual person? If you care more about the information and the details than the actual person, you become numb at a point. That means you have no emotion. That's why I tell you, watch for people to say, oh, you being emotional. God gave us emotions. You're telling me to go against God. God created anger. God created happiness. God created sorrow. All the emotions that God enabled you to have don't happen to be ones that effectively make you gleeful and happy and opulent and more ambitious. No, some of those emotions, like when somebody in your family is close to you and they pass away, or say you gave birth to stillbirth or something like that or whatever, would that not make you upset? Would that not make you mad? So it becomes apparent that it's almost ridiculous for somebody to get online and say to you, oh, you emotional. You have no right to tell me what to be angry or what to be happy about. That is someone trying to control you through the manipulation of a tribal mentality. And y'all got to watch for that, because AKA that's a cult. And I keep telling y'all that. I've seen so many people get taken advantage of. Malachi York was doing the same type of stuff. Brother Polite was doing the same type of stuff. Respectfully. You know what I'm saying? But not so much. I mean, not even respectfully. Fuck that. I forgot what they got convicted for. But the point is, you understand what I'm saying? There's been people that have done this stuff all the time, white, black, polka dot, whatever. The real Jim Jones, when we talking about Jim Jones, the real Jim Jones, had his congregation drink cyanide-laced Kool-Aid, and you could hear their moans and screams as they were passing in a video clip. You can go online and look at that right now. Reverend Jim Jones in Guyana. Go look it up. Guy from Heaven's Gate, I think that was the name of him. He had a whole bunch of people sit back and do the same exact thing. There's a lot of people throughout history that have always been able to manipulate people in the masses. Like there's some type of ideology or something to believe in that shouldn't be believed in the first place. This gossiping culture that we have online right now is the same gossiping culture that used to bring people into the town and they would hang them or bring them to the guillotine or bring them right up the block here in Salem, Massachusetts. You've been condemned as being a witch. Burn her. Then 130 years later, you got the same Salem, Massachusetts say, you know what, we might have fucked up. Maybe Mary wasn't a witch. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of things are time indicative. And right now you're thinking in this time, in this moment, that all this shit matters, and it really doesn't. It's just a bunch of gossip. You don't believe me? Who was y'all gossiping about last month? Go ahead, I'll give you a few minutes. Who was y'all gossiping about last month? See, you don't remember. I answer for you. You don't remember. Matter of fact, if I ask you what was the hottest gossip back in December, pay attention to something. You don't remember. If I ask you what's the hottest gossip back in October, pay attention to something. You don't remember. What was the hottest gossip in 2024 of May? You don't remember. You see what I mean? So these things come as a hit and miss. There's a cycle, then it ends, then somebody starts a new cycle, then it ends. Just a week ago, we were talking about Gucci Mane. Now we're talking about Offset getting popped. Y'all don't see the cycle? Y'all slow or what? I ain't helping y'all? I'm sorry. Where's my brain? I'm sorry. People will get on here and tell people don't donate to me, don't support my channel and everything else. And since the beginning, go to the beginning of my channel. I ain't did nothing but try to help people. Some people think I'm in a hate mode. I'm like, no, I'm frustrated with these niggas. Because I be trying to tell them. And the only thing they take in contention is, well, he speaks Spanish. So that mean that nigga ain't telling the truth? I'm trying to help you motherfuckers. I'm telling you what they doing. I was in this business for 17 years. I know what the fuck they doing. They're trying to eliminate rap. And they're doing it using the vloggers. The vloggers are the manipulation tool now. It used to be the people at the music stores, the FYEs. Let me tell you how it used to go. It used to be the FYEs, the Virgin Mega stores or whatever. Conspiracy taught, you know, abort is this conversation. So this is theory based. But it used to be a thought that a lot of people that send out, this is back when we had physical entities. They would send out physical entities to stores, and the stores would manipulate the prices. I mean, excuse me, not the prices, the sales and things like that for the Grammy considerations. And so a lot of people did this yearly when the numbers counted. Now they really don't count except for you getting an award. But back then, those numbers used to count for something heavily. They used to watch those numbers real. Oh, so-and-so went this much. So-and-so went this much. Now it's this 10 years later, nobody gives a shit. But back then, they were using the record stores to control the artists. They controlled everything. If you had an in-store there, they controlled if you had the rollout that was the right way there. Anybody saying I'm lying, you're telling a fucking lie. I was at them in-stores in Virgin Mega Store. You understand? And FYE and Tower Records. If you wasn't a top tier artist, then nobody come down there to see you. If you wasn't a top tier artist, motherfuckers wasn't coming down there to get an autograph. How dare you? Don't fucking play me. I was there at them shits. For Puff numerous times. So, and other artists. So, you're talking about somebody that's a veteran of that shit. That's what we used to do in stores. You know what I'm saying? With all the artists. So that's why, and even artists that they had as friends that would come to their in-store sometimes that were also artists. So you can't tell me nothing about that. What I'm telling you is that a lot of these used to be, when they had physical entities, they used to have places like Virgin Mega Store. That was the hugest one in Times Square. Then they had Tower Records. Then they had FYE, and they had like 2 or 3 other ones. I forgot. They were smaller retailers, but they were nevertheless. This is what they did. And so people would send out, let's say, 100,000 copies of an album, right? They would have people sometimes. Some people said this. I think smaller record labels did this. I don't think Puff did this or Jay did this, but people would come in and they'd be part of the record company, and they would buy up the units from a budget. You understand what I'm saying? And you would manipulate the numbers there, but you could also control it, because now you're dependent on these record distributors, basically. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the second tier distribution, which is the record stores. The first tier distribution is actually the relationship that the said parent company, whether it be Interscope, whether it be BMG or whatever ties they hold as far as distribution. You understand what I'm saying? And they're like, we're going to place you over here, exclusively over here. You're going to exclusively do the signing over here, because that actual store may be owned by somebody that is a conglomerate of said record company. You understand what I'm saying? Case in the fact, there used to be Tower Records. Then it was actually a Tower Records. You understand what I'm saying? So pay attention to what I'm trying to tell you. Actually, some of these music stores were in contention. Virgin was another one. Virgin Airlines, all this. They all involved in vertical integration and synergy, most of them. So you get people who are manipulating the numbers then. You understand? I think they're manipulating the numbers now with the streaming, bot systems and everything like that. I think they're doing the same thing now. It's kind of harder to prove it in the digital space as it was in the physical space, which you could do with the record companies. You could just do an audit of them. You understand? And you will find out what was going on, what was what. But now it's harder, because the digital space, you could say, you can have, I saw, y'all ever heard of a social media farm? Let me explain this to you. So there's people, especially a lot of this is exclusively in Asian countries like China and Japan and in India and in Africa. They have social media farms. So these social media farms, basically what they do is they'll have like a room, and a room will have 40 phones in it. Okay? They all streaming the same thing, but they looking to get the numbers up. So the what's the name people will be like phantom followers, you understand? And they'll have some people working some of the phones to make it look real or whatever, but it's just stack on stack. I'm just imagining a pallet of wood, and there's 10 phones, then another 10, then another 10, and tiers of 8 to 10. Look what people are doing out here. And I ain't heard too much of this going on in America, but definitely in foreign countries, they take social media a little bit more serious. I didn't realize how serious they took it in China. China's a very developed country. You know what I mean? It's like when clickbait says people are furious, those people don't exist. Exactly. That's why I told you the tropes that, and you know, YouTube, I try to tell people about that too. YouTube just recently had a settlement put against them, a judgment rather, against their company for, it was chump change. It was only $100,000, but it's yet still, they've still got more cases to go. And Meta was also involved in it. They had a judgment put against them as well from this young girl. I forgot what her name is. Young white girl, whatever. I'm gonna say like this: she was the perfect person to do if anybody was gonna do it. And I know a lot of y'all niggas gonna get mad at me. Y'all better let Molly go over there and sue that motherfucker. Y'all better. Sometimes you just gotta send Molly through. See, Molly's gonna get the job done for all of us. So Molly went on over there. She said, "I've just been devastated, and I've got a cat." Molly went over there to the courthouse. She said, "I just been devastated.
Oh my God, YouTube has ruined my life, and I got a cat, and I can't feed him well, and I'm not feeding well. You know, she read all that shit. And the judge said, you know what, YouTube, you got to pay out $100,000. You know what, Meta, you too are guilty. And there's hundreds of other lawsuits filed against these three companies. That's not to put any malice on them, it's the truth. You can go look this up for yourself. The settlement just happened maybe 2 weeks ago. I reported on it. Did a whole live on it. Some people, that was one of the ones that nobody mentioned. What's going on, Fred Marines? Hey, shit, man. I might keep this live going, man, because I ain't been here to talk with you yet. It's 5:56. I'll go to like 7. You got a lot of even politicians I've been finding lately that have been in arms with different vloggers and shit like that. I heard some names come up recently that were mentioned about some big companies. And I said one of them in particular, I said, oh, no, don't fuck with him. And then some shit happened. I said, let me fall back from it before they think I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I was like, see? You know what I'm saying? See? I ain't gonna say his name either. But see, what up, Blueface? See? And it ain't Blueface. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So what up, Whack? You know what I mean? And it ain't Whack. Figure that out. Dispute. They had a little disturbance in the area, you know? But that ain't my business to talk about because I don't live on the West Coast. But the sentiment remains the same. I watch motherfuckers. You do certain shit online that I find contentious with drama and trauma on a consistent basis to make money or to get views. I think you're some of the most dangerous people online. I think more people need to start paying attention to that. We got a lot of these bloggers that are online nowadays and they don't do nothing but carry malice with them everywhere they go. Have you not seen that? Like, that's all it is just malice after malice, beef after beef. And quite frankly, man, I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of seeing it. I'm like, yo, another nigga beefing, another person wilding, another person got shot. And that's why I'm putting so much emphasis in talking about this thing with Offset. I'm like, this is a setup for something grander in the end. You know what I mean? This is definitely a setup in now a precursor where niggas can use this, bounce off of it and be like, yo, see, I told you. Now they down at the casino at the Hard Rock shooting. You know how much shit goes on at that casino down there? I lived in Florida. Trust me when I tell you, there. I don't know. Tell me a time when Florida hasn't had people being malicious, or I've seen people. Listen, there was one year we was down there. I think it was 2013, 2014. You guys could go look this up. And there was police shooting caught from the balcony of somebody's hotel. I think it was on Collins. It was on Collins or Washington. If y'all familiar with the area in Miami Beach, not North Miami, Miami Beach. And so sitting there, we watching this shit or whatever. And I didn't even know what happened when we were down there, but evidently one of these dudes had hit one of the bike police with a car. Turns around, backs up, tries to hit two more people with the car. They start lighting up the car. I'm like, oh, whoa. And you hear the shots is going all crazy. People, they know what I'm talking about. Propaganda. I just said that earlier. What's your name? Bob Black 3. I just said that earlier. Stay right here. Don't go nowhere. And make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. I appreciate it. And hit the Cash App up too, man. We can use every dollar. You heard? You got. She grabbed me so much into that conversation. I should have read that comment. Yeah. We do need the minister to speak. Yeah, we need Calypso Louis, definitely. Need him to speak some words, because that's the only person they'll listen to. Collectively, that is someone, there's certain people, and that's why I was put so much emphasis on Reverend Jesse Jackson dying. And not to get off the subject, but that's why I did that, because I said, you know what, those are the only men that can collectively get people together, and they would sit down and listen because they commanded so much respect. When he's gone, and now Jesse's gone, and they were friends, there ain't gonna be many left. You know what I'm saying? I said, even if he could just write a statement or have it orally designated and then have Khadijah or his son or one of them read it, that would be a contentment for me and enough to know that it came from his lips, that they would listen. They don't want to listen now. And that's the dangerous part about it, because they're running into a brick wall. They're looking at this Offset situation as the same thing. Now I've got a reason to complain. Now I've got a reason to be online. You know, you got other outlets that are picking it up that are not traditionally urban outlets, and they're putting their own twist on it. They said, oh, well, look at it. You see these niggas, they come to the show and they start shooting up shit and shit. Florida's never been a place. They got a term in Florida, especially when you get to Miami. If you ever been to Miami, they tell you, don't let these palm trees fool you. There's a reason behind that. Over there in Miami Gardens, aka Broward used to be. Oh, I know that area all too well. Yeah, something could happen to you down there. You better know how to speak Spanish or French. One of the two. You could be in danger. You know what I'm saying? And not even know it. You better know how to speak Spanish, French, or no Jamaican patois. You know what I mean? See what I deal with? Because you're broke. Russia, you see it? So listen, big man. Don't go down to Florida fucking around. You're going to find something out. Listen, especially if you don't know nobody. Shout out to Billy Blue and a couple other people down there. Duct Tape. Shout out to y'all, man. Atlantic Records. And I don't know if y'all still active or not, but it's always love. You know what I'm saying? Those are some of the first artists I met down there. So shout out to Billy Blue. Shout out to, Trinidad James. I met him in Miami. This was before he even dropped the single. He was down there promoting it. You know what I'm saying? Ask Trinidad James that. You know what I mean? Before the following year, he said, yo, I'm about to have the biggest single in the world. I said, no, you ain't. And he did. I don't think he had that. So he had something else at the time. And then next thing I know, here he comes. I'm like, oh shit, he wasn't lying. Here he comes. Same thing I saw with what's that girl's name? Iggy Azalea. If you like her, don't like her. I said the same thing when she dropped that joint Pussy. You heard? I said, oh, she gonna pop, and she did. You know, she still commands $1 on stage, whether you like her or don't like her. What we gonna do is we need some bloggers that ain't scared to speak the fuck up like men. Some of y'all niggas is 40, 45, 50 years old and scared to speak up like men, and you out here trying to tinkle winkle with the kids and shit. Give me your version of the gospel. Well, if niggas ain't living by them rules on the street, so why you want niggas to live off them rules on motherfucking online? It's beyond me. So-and-so, he snitches, so you come and tell them, go handle that. Come tell them the internet for. Go handle that. You know what I'm saying? Go handle that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not trying to promote nothing. I'm just saying, like, you don't come to the internet and say, yeah, this nigga snitched on me and say I shot him. Nigga, they said you shot him. So why would you come to the internet and even talk about anything? It seems like sometimes it's a ploy to get people up out of here and get them up out the way, if y'all understand what I'm saying. Like I can say, yo, so-and-so is whatever. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. And if I got 1,000 people that believe in that, then you know what I'm saying, that's what it is. And I get them 1,000 people to get 1,000 more people to believe in that. All of a sudden, we got a rumor now, you know, such and such is this, such and such is that. Now we got conversations about it. Let's sit down and talk about it. Let's interview so-and-so now because he said we want to know what the beef was really about. This is all that facilitates online day after 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 day. I don't try to diss Tasha K or nothing like that, but I got to speak on her. You got a judgment against you right now. I'm going to show you how crazy shit is. She got a judgment against her. You understand? I'm not trying to diss her. I'm just pointing out the facts. She got a judgment against her. Many of her followers and many of her subscribers, they many of times going on people's pages or whatever, calling them brokies, said they're this, said they're that, or whatever the case may be, and come to find out, here she is with a GoFundMe trying to pay her legal, you know, allocations or whatever. And people are donating to that. They say, oh, no, she's our favorite or whatever. And I say to them this, and I'm not dissing Tasha K. I'm just saying what her premise is and what she does. She spills the tea. She is one of the queens that does it. And you will be surprised how many men are out here that want to be just like Tasha K, don't you, bitch? Oh, there's a lot of motherfuckers out here that want to be just like Tasha K. Hey, girl. Spill the tea, girl. And I ain't talking about y'all gentlemen over there in the LGBTQ community. Hell, my girl cousin is gay. It ain't about that. Nah, I ain't talking about them dudes. They doing what they will be doing. I'm talking about heterosexual men. I don't go around calling niggas gay and all that shit. Why the fuck would I give a fuck? I ain't trying to fuck you. But heterosexual men have seemed to be the new legitimate carriers of the good gossip or gossiping nowadays. If y'all haven't paid attention. Oh, these bitch niggas be on here all day, every night. Guess what so-and-so said, girl? Even the ladies now are getting online talking about shit.
So like I said, I ain't shitting on Tasha K. I'm just telling you, yo, be careful what you do, man, because it got some ramifications. Tasha K fucked her whole motherfucking savings up in her future. That bitch was balling. Now she got to sell shit. I said, damn, that ain't fair, but at the same time, it's like damn, you know? I'm gonna go out the sun. The sun is in my eyes so bad, guys. All right, that's better. The sun is going down, so that's why y'all saw me squinting. That's why I was squinting, because it's like literally right in front of me. Y'all can see it's getting brighter. You know what I mean? You got a lot of people nowadays, dude, that just male vloggers that don't stand for nothing. And I need a couple of guys to come up and start standing for something and teaching the kids. You know, at 35, 40, 45 years old, that niggas be talking about all this leadership shit, but y'all ain't leading. Instead, y'all sitting online with the rest of the hoes, gossiping. And I know a lot of y'all don't want it to end because it's money for y'all. But what there was a way to make, see, I be telling niggas all the time, y'all control the algorithm. Y'all don't even know it. Y'all are the algorithm. And if y'all say the algorithm is gossip, then that's what it'll be. If y'all say the algorithm is about, yo, we really, instead of grieving every time something happened to a nigga, let's start reacting every time something happens to a nigga. This is what we gonna do. Like right now, this is how I feel. And I gotta speak about this, about Ye. Kanye, what up, boy? Listen here. I don't like that shit. I don't like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like that shit. I don't like that stuff that happened with Kanye and them canceling his concert over at the UK. I ain't like it. And I heard it was from promoters pulling out, one particular, sponsors pulling out. One particular sponsor was Pepsi. I thought that was crazy because they did it after he had a successful run just a minute ago and proved to everybody, hey, I can still get people to come check me out. And he did. He ain't had no lack of people coming to check him out. So these people say, you ain't coming back. I mean, all these different, I forgot, it was some dude, whatever his name was. He came out, he's an older actor. He came out the other day. He was like, yeah, and I don't think Kanye has really apologized. Kanye went and shook hands and sat with a rabbi. He don't get no more Jewish than that. In Israel. You know what I'm saying? He went to sit with a rabbi. And the rabbi said, I forget. So if it's good enough for the rabbi, how come it ain't good enough for you? L'chaim. And I mean that respectfully as fuck. If it's good enough for the rabbi, why it ain't good enough for you? Nah, this is a collective plan that blacks have picked up from whites. And I'm gonna tell you what the game is. The game is, we now sabotage you monetarily. Sabotage you monetarily. We'll mess up your reputation or whatever. Whatever we got to do, we're gonna make sure, just like the Germans did, just like Mussolini did, just like they did right after the Civil War, we're gonna enact the same things. And this is why I say the assimilation come in with a lot of these folks. We're gonna impact the same type of rules and things that were put against us, and now the formerly oppressed are now gonna become the oppressors. That's why I say you gotta watch who you signing up for to be your new masters. A lot of niggas out here really just want to be real masters. They are colonists, I'm telling you. These are colonists. Black slavers, as they would call it at one time. They want you to trade one master for another. I say, well, fuck that. I don't want no more. I don't want no master. I wasn't even feeling like a master when I was working I was being ruled by a master when I was in the music industry. If anybody would tell you to know me, I would tell you, fuck you in a minute. Ask around. I've always been the same person. Fuck you. You know what I mean? And I always will be. And I'm not going to change that because I think that's part of my character. It's a good part of my character. And I think my father would be proud of that character. So now I'm not going to change it up. For what? You know? But I will say this. If we don't start getting these men to start circumnavigating and start talking about more important subjects of like what's really going on monetarily. How the fuck are you poor and you want other people to be poor along with you? And then you want to eradicate the people that are rich that employ people that were formerly poor and get rid of them so those same people can revert back to being poor. Make sense of that for me. That economically, how the fuck does that make sense? We're going to be and that sounds like a chosen class. Doesn't that sound like a chosen class? It's like a subculture within the culture. It's the same thing that happened in white culture once upon a time. White culture evolved after I don't know, after the Civil War had ended, it evolved into a certain type of class. It would always been the Victorian periods and always been aristocrats and things like that. But now it was an American diaphragm to it. And what you saw here in America was many of the former rich that were rich slave owners or whatever, where the slaves are free now, so they ain't have no free labor no more. So they ain't have no indentured service either. So now they can't make as money. Now they're not those millionaires anymore. You understand what I'm saying? You could say, well, oh God, hold on one second. Let me get this one out of here. A lot of those people now are literally, at that point, they're now poor or going poor. This is not stupid talk. This is something you can go look up. You know what I mean? No, you're stupid. You could go look this up. And so when you had that happen, what you had was a lot of these people, they went poor. And then there were some people that stayed extremely rich because they did other investments. This is the part of American history they don't tell you. These people ended up being the Rockefellers and all these people that you know that are multi-trillionaires and billionaires or whatever, because they were able to survive that period. If you look at Prescott Bush, who was Bush's father, he made money during the Prohibition off liquor, illegal liquor. You understand what I'm saying? And many other different trading with the Enemies Act and that was Kennedy. Trading with the Enemies Act of Prescott Bush. He was selling steel to the Americans and the Germans during World War II. Did you know that? So, and this is Bush's father. A lot of these people, they made their money off of illegal means or whatever the case may be. And so a lot of people try to patent those ideas and implement them into their own in the hip hop community and the social media community. I see it. It's called being an assimilist. And you're assimilating to something that is of a structure of slave core. And you just don't understand. You are voluntarily putting yourself in shackles every time you jump on this motherfucker. What's going on, Maury? Every time you jump on this motherfucker, be like, blah, 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 Charlie Brown ass motherfuckers. Womp, 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 womp. Guess what, girl? Da, da, da. I'm just saying, niggas ain't got nothing else to offer, but y'all talking about y'all these most intelligent niggas where your display of intelligence ain't on the line. Being able to dictate what somebody's personal experience is based on, like, I even use Offset again as an example. If people were able to jump online, and it's because they're able to articulate what the particulars are in the shooting, or the particulars are in the malice, or whatever nature, or whatever. Does that mean you really a good fucking journalist, or does that mean you just know how to reread shit? Which one does that mean? Because I can reread shit. I do that all the time. Y'all notice I've been going for an hour and 32 minutes. I ain't one time looked up one motherfucking fact. I ain't had to. This is all up here. If your nigga got to Google too much doing his live stream, you should watch out for him too. Watch out for niggas got to Google a lot doing the live stream. You'll find out something. It's one thing if you're looking for a statue of the law or something like that. They're just looking for particular things to point out and be like, hey, see? Nobody else feels that way, huh? Y'all rather just watch it burn down? Y'all rather just watch it burn down? I mean, if I'd rather just watch it burn down, that's cool. But hip-hop is in, and y'all gonna come back to this conversation, I guarantee you, hip-hop is in danger right now. I even think there's a conspiracy to fuel and fund that trap music shit as much as they can. And I don't see nothing but niggas losing off trap music. I don't see nothing but niggas losing off drill music. Niggas done lost homies and everything else. This nigga's doing 30 years behind drill music and trap music. From the Bronx to Chicago, right? And all across the nation. Niggas ain't saying nothing about that, but niggas will come on and be like, yo, the youth, though, it's a shame what happened. Niggas been having grief consoles every decade. It's about to end about 2030 in a minute. We're in 2026, right? 2030, niggas still gonna be having grief sessions. The grief sessions have to stop. And I don't know who's continuing this tradition with the grief, but you gotta start having solutions. You gotta start having solutions, and the solution ain't getting on here abiding by the motherfucking rules of the internet to dictate to your own motherfucking people they should be put in more poverty than a lot of them already are. You should be fucking ashamed of yourself. It's disgusting behavior, to be honest with you. You shouldn't be on here promoting somebody's tragedy and be like, oh, well, he deserved to get shot. No, he didn't. Why did he deserve to get shot over 10K? Somebody actually said that. I've clipped comments where people would say, I'm glad he got shot. They were talking about Offset. I was like, yo, and this is the people who call themselves the culture, so they're able to determine what's worth
being empathetic about and what's not worth being empathetic about. And it almost mirrors racists of all different ethnicities at this point. You know what I mean? That's interesting to me, man. How people just somehow or another look past that. They just look past it. They look past it. And so what I'm telling you guys is all this bickering and more beefing coming out the music. I'll say it one more time. More beef coming out the music. Appreciate you, Cassandra. Is the problem. That's the problem. There's more gossip than music. Niggas is all here talking about, yeah, you know, you ain't really from over here and all this shit. That nigga been over there for years with the gym shit. You know, we talking about Fab. We gonna erase the shit that Fab to put out. We gonna erase this, erase that. 5 people just jumped out. I don't give a fuck. I'm not just talking about that specific person. I'm talking about multiple people. Multiple people. And if that made you leave here without hearing the premise of the conversation, then fuck you. I don't need you here. I'm tired of playing favorites. I played favorite before. Nah, it's about me. I'm not in the winter of my life, but I ain't in the beginning either. You understand? So right now, these years count for me, and I gotta stand tall on something. And standing tall on something means, hey, we gotta find a way to start circumnavigating this shit for the babies, or however y'all want to put it, or whatever. Because the young niggas right now, I'm talking about anybody under 35 years old is looking at the internet like, yo, this is the place to come and chat and gossip with the. I ain't gossiping about opening no businesses. I ain't gossiping about how to put some nigga in some money. Know what I'm saying? This niggas that come on here and watch me on a daily basis, burn, grind, night and day, and will not donate $10 to me. Talking about, well, you know, so-and-so over at their podcast said don't fucking why, because I'm over here talking this shit, and they ain't. Go see what they talking about, see what I'm talking about, and tell me which one mattered more to you. What is more applicable to you? When I'm telling you what's coming in the here foreseeable future, as far as rap music being over with, I'm trying to tell you they're going to manipulate it into something else, the same way they did rock and roll. This is why you're seeing all these K-pop artists being promoted heavily. And you can listen to the songs and tell it's black writers. No offense to anybody. This is why you're hearing a lot of different Latin fusions with reggaeton and all these others, whatever, being promoted a little bit, because that's a fusion. They're going to make rap a whole different sound. I don't know how to explain it. That's why, like, even with the Uzi Verts, I love Uzi Vert, but some of the music he does, it promotes it even further. You know? It promotes it even further. It's like we're going to make this pop rap fusion, and that's where all the music genres are going to be. And we're going to put such a negative connotation on the trap and drill or whatever else you want to put around there. And we're going to make that the one that we'll keep in certain areas. So if you from Memphis, you go see this artist. You know what I'm saying? Or you from Florida, you go see this artist. If you from, it almost keeps every last one of those artists regional, so they stay in their state or their area or their demographic more so, and be their problem versus being. It works probably into the hip hop police too. You know what I'm saying? It's a good way to monitor everybody. You keep the demographics skewed and put them in locales instead of having them nationally. Not to say that these people can't go here, there, but everybody ain't NBA Youngboy. Everybody ain't Offset. Everybody ain't many of these other Lil Baby. A lot of these people, you say what you want to about them, they can go still feel the crowd or whatever. A lot of the artists from their region can't feel the crowd like them. Same thing how they came up with Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, from listening to New Edition and Boyz II Men. There you go. It's happening again. See, this guy gets you. It's happening again. But this time they're going to make it into this microcosm of like this rap pop shit. And no, I'm not doing rap pop. I'd rather just do pop if I'm going to do that. Like, that's why I switched to singing, because I started off singing. You know what I'm saying? But I was a rapper as far as I introduced myself as an artist. I've now had to switch into being a singer, not only because I'm getting older, but because the pure simple fact, and I'm talking about melodic singing, so it's like, you know what I mean, you know, trap beats or whatever you want to say, but it's not trap music. I'm not sitting around talking about how I'm sad all day, and I want to kill myself and go in the bathroom and get some pills. I'm not talking about doing all day and doing poses like this. You know what I'm saying? You ever see that skit from Drewski where he was doing the Atlanta rappers? That shit was funny as hell. He said, yeah, I've got like a crop top cube, man, you know, something light, man. I was like, yo, that's just how them dudes be doing too. I'm not trying to revert y'all back to the past or nothing like that. That's not my mission. My mission is only to say, yo, we got to get it together as far as rap is concerned right now, because the shit is in danger, though. And what's going to make it implode is motherfucking gossiping online. I'm trying to tell you, this shit fueling more beefs than real rap music. Niggas ain't even singing lyrics to the beef that they get. They just plain out saying it. That defeats the whole purpose. This is why we got into rap. To send messages, to say things, you know, be whatever. Now we got niggas sitting back talking about, nah, son, I said on the podcast, and that's how I meant it. No. We've got to stop putting so much importance on these media outlets. These media outlets will be the destruction because they don't know what they're doing. You see? So most of these people are novices to media itself. I saw that demonstrated to me when I was down at the Diddy trial. I'll tell y'all that a million times. There was people down there was running around like bloggers, and you should have been running around like journalists, and they wasn't. So you get a lot of different confusions. There's a lot of goofy shit going on down there as well. But outside of all that, what I'm saying is you guys get serious about what I'm talking about rap being a rap. You know what I'm saying? They want to get rid of it. I brought up C. Dolores Tucker earlier, and I didn't continue on that, but I will right now. C. Dolores Tucker was an older woman. She was about 70-something when she did this little thing. But at the time, she had warned people about gangster rap. And nobody wanted, at the time, she was warning people about gangster rap because she saw the implementations of it and what it possibly could be in trajectory. She was a smart woman, actually, when you think about it. But at the time, they hated her. They hated everything she had to say. And so she took a steamroller and she got a whole bunch of gangster rap CDs. She put them in a pile and she ran a steamroller over protesting. And a lot of people came at her, you know what I mean, at the time or whatever. Now, that was damn near, I'm going to say 25 to 30 years ago. She's since passed. But C. Dolores Tucker had a point because I see where we at right now. You understand what I'm saying? And it's a whole different imprint. And shout out to them 4 people that just popped off or whatever, because you don't care nothing about this culture. You care about the money in it. You understand what I'm saying? And to them sucker niggas that just popped up off of here, fuck you and fuck everybody living in your house. That's some sucker shit. These people don't want to hear reality. They want to hear fantasy. I'm not here to sell you no fantasy, because later on you're going to be coming back talking about, damn, they really did try to end rap. Ooh, shit. I'm telling you, if somebody was in that music industry, this is the plan. It's a very, very intricate plan to it. It's in partitions. First we get them arguing. Now we're going to use the vloggers. Now we're going to use the vloggers. We use the vloggers, feed them a story. You don't need no introduction to the story. You don't need to know no details or whatever. It's just what we said. We said this is the way it went down, so we feel like this is the way it went down. And that's it. That's it. You see what I'm saying? So how far do you get in the world like that, where your ideas and what you should be thinking are dictated by another man? Not very far. Your ideals are dictated by another man, a blogger or a woman. Are you one trying to be ruled, or are you trying to be rulers? Because that ain't boss shit. Boss niggas don't sit around and be like, nah, I ain't got no contention with nothing you said. Boss niggas don't sit around and be like, yo, I like everything, but you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna roll with it anyway because it sound good. Nah. That ain't boss nigga. That's soldier niggas. Soldier niggas go with anything. I ain't going with everything everybody say. Maybe that's just me. Let me say it. They get our people saying from the culture like breakdancing is corny. We settle things from modern culture, now it's reverted, missing the point. Very, very true. I don't like to say that we culture or whatever, because I've had so many people. Let me explain myself very quickly. I've had so many people, and whether it looks like to you or whatever the fuck, I don't care. People that know me, and evidently when Latin people come up to me, the first thing that happens every time is they recognize me for who I am and speak Spanish to me. Probably 80% of the time. Anybody that ever hang out with me, you know this. But I was chastised. I'm gonna just speak of my own experience, and I can elaborate on what you're saying. The reason I don't get into the culture thing, because I don't think there is a culture per se anymore. I think the culture now is a culture of gossiping, false accusations, trying to penalize people in this tribalistic type of way. If you think any way other than the said person that's presenting whatever they're presenting, then you're someone that is opposition or whatever, without even hearing what the person is saying, which is really what the tribe should be doing. Well, let's hear what he has to say, because even though we may not agree with everything he has to say, there is shit in there that he said that is very true. And let's see what he means by that, by getting him to elaborate. See, that's how you start a conversation amongst the people. No, instead they'd rather ostracize the people. Then when those same people go and they go to find other outlets or different cultures to deal with or whatever, those same people, they now get mad at you. Oh, I was talking about earlier, man, you about an hour and 40 minutes off, but we was talking about offset and things like that or whatever. Let me just finish this point. I got people that literally made pages about me, started all kinds of rumors about me, anything you could think of. And it was all in hints of making sure that Cash App right there doesn't get hit. That is their favorite joy. I don't know what his financial sabotage tactics are coming, but it's Gestapo shit. This is shit Germans did. You understand, during World War II. So it's very communist, very socialist and thinking or whatever, very even fascist if you really want to say. You know, if you don't do as I do, then you're different and you're ousted from the tribe type shit. Or if you're not as I say, you know, I hear niggas from, and this is not a jab, this is just reality. I hear people from the FBA, they'll sit around and they'll say, oh, we ain't black like us. Meanwhile, most black Americans are mixed with white. So wherever you're from, even if you were native to the land, you ain't native in DNA anymore, because somewhere along the way, white mixed with you, whether you're from this hemisphere or not. Did you ever have that conversation? Whether you're from this hemisphere or Africa, you were mixed with white, and it's within most of his DNA. If you don't believe me, there is a series called Black in America. Oprah Winfrey funded it. We have a guy named Dr. C. Lewis Henry Gates. He's from Harvard University. He pioneered the DNA research program. Go check it out. And you'll see every show that he has, show after show after show. They had Morgan Freeman on one of the shows. Morgan Freeman was talking about he was Chickasaw Indian for the longest. Come to find out, Morgan Freeman is half Scottish. And when I say Scottish, I mean Scottish like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? If you don't believe me, go look it up. Go look it up. You understand? The same thing with Oprah. Oprah found out she was half white. I would say 90% of African Americans, not 95% of African Americans, are mixed with white DNA at this point. So even if you're from this hemisphere or not from this hemisphere, you're still mixed with white DNA. So you're not pure. Same thing with Latin Americans and Latin Americans versus Latin Caribbeans. A lot of Latin Americans can claim purity more so than Latin Caribbeans can, because Latin Caribbeans are mostly mixed with black. Brother, these motherfuckers can't be trusted, and you really be on your business. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You're right, but at the same topic, the white people have a little black in their DNA, because everybody, yeah, but listen, we all know that shit. And it would make sense if you was having that. Let me tell you what the problem is, 20Y Wooside. Let me tell you what the problem is in that conversation. You can say, well, at the same time, black people, white people have a little black in them. This is very true. We've seen this on DNA testing too. You know what the problem is? They're in control and you're not. And I know that fucking burns a motherfucker's ego. But they're in control in this country. They're in control of did niggas declare war on Iran? Do niggas have the power to stop the war in Iran? Only any other wars going on in the world right now. No, they don't. Whites do. And every culture that walks this earth looks at it the same way, from the Chinese to the Koreans to everybody else or whatever, as weapons are concerned. Now, this is the issue. When you've got kings and monarchs, you remember Queen Elizabeth just died not too long ago. Remember that, even though she was just an allegory of an example. But the point is, she passed away on the throne. And we know that lineage has black DNA in it. Oh, we know that. The Moors had a lot to do with that. But don't you make no mistake about the Moors either. The Moors were Masons. That's why it was funny as fuck to me when people be talking about, oh, these Masons, the same people that you're worshiping, the Moors, they were Masons. They were Masons, and not some of the best guys at that either. And some of these guys, these are the same Moors that led King Leopold and helped chop off hands and shit. I'm telling you. Listen, my uncles and them are all military men on my mom's side of the family. I talk about this all the time. I always stand up for the military on here. All of them were Shriners, which is an extension from Noble Drew Ali and the
couple other people, whatever, in that realm in the elk. My mother's Black American, so in that realm in the elk, it's an extension of that. That's why they wear what you call the fez and things like that, or whatever to connote that. The Moors wore the same thing. They were actually given that by the Ethiopians originally, and then you'll see later on that I think it was mostly the Germans first that did it, I want to say, and then the English started doing it. They started implementing that. It's the same thing with the wigs over in England. They implemented that from Cleopatra and all of them. You understand what I'm saying? And many other dynasties and different higher kingdoms, lower kingdoms that came along with Egyptian. But all of them up to Cleopatra, who was, most people thought she was, I think they said she was Assyrian or something, maybe Greek or something like that, and mixed in with that, mixed in with the Egyptian blood. And like I said, it depends on what dynasty you're talking about. Like a lot of people don't realize that they paint this picture. The oldest pyramids in the world, you know where they found that? In Sudan. In Sudan, thank you very much. In Sudan. The oldest pyramids in the world are found in Sudan. And if you don't believe me, go look it up right now, go Google it, whatever. You'll see a nice picture of it. And they look similar to what you saw in the pyramids, but you could definitely see there's been some refinement. All throughout those dynasties, there were different races of people. The Nubians or whatever, which came out of Sudan. The Nubians came in and they conquered the dynasty that was there previously, and then they took control. And they had a rule in the Nubian dynasty. But there was also an Assyrian dynasty. There was also a Greek dynasty that you see with Cleopatra or whatever. There were different dynasties, and if you look at the paintings, you'll see all of them are always different colors and different features and things like that or whatever. This is true. You can't ignore this. I mean, the depictions, the hieroglyphics, everything, they depict this. So that's why I like, when I see some of these people, they used to have these tours and they would take people to Egypt and shit like that, right? And it would be these dudes. And see, this is where the Africans, I was like, they weren't all Nubians. Nubian was a reign, and it was a very powerful reign. The kingdom of Kush, I believe that was at the time, that intervened or whatever. But it was 2 or 3 different, it wasn't just one. They were powerful. They were very powerful. You're talking about it, eventually, these are the same people that came into Italy and Spain and Portugal. You understand? And it was trying to evade and had 15 and 14-year-old soldiers with them, just like the Spaniards and the Portuguese did. A lot of people don't know this, but right here in Connecticut, in another section of Connecticut or whatever, the Amistad ship landed. The Amistad was actually, and that's out in New London, shout out to New London. And there's a place out there called Amistad's Landing. Well, the Amistad ship, if you have ever seen the movie, it pulled into the pier. Hold on one second. What's going on, brother? Yeah.
Thank you.
You good, bro? There was a dynasty where you had, excuse me, y'all. It was a dynasty where you had like a little thing going on where a lot of times what you'll see is, I'm trying to pick up right where I was at. What you'll see is when you depict the Egyptians and things like that or whatever, a lot of times what you'll get is you'll get people that just focus on the Nubian reign of Egypt. And like I said, there was 3 separate Nubian reigns. There was a couple reigns that were brown, if you would consider them now. And then there was some that were absolutely damn near white, like Cleopatra, her dynasty. Mark Antony, they were Greeks. You understand? And the library that they burnt, what was the library that they burnt? Supposed to have some of the world's knowledge. It was under Cleopatra's rule. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that was that was the biggest betrayer right there. That was a big betrayer right there. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit up the Cash App, man. Support me, man. For real. We got a little goal there, $600. Ain't nothing. I got 30,000 subscribers. And for some reason or another, I can't get nobody to donate to me or whatever. I appreciate y'all coming in and talking about real, but I need that financial support like everybody else. And I very rarely get it. And I just can't understand because I always come on here talking the same shit. I was in the music industry. I think a lot of people have a problem with me attending the Diddy trial or whatever. Yeah, the Amistad Landing was in Connecticut, specifically New London, Connecticut. They have a place there called Amistad's Landing. Actually, that's what I was talking about before Pana, he walked up, he wanted to light. Amistad's Landing is actually where there's a customs house out there. So they bought him there and they jailed him there at first. But after that, what they did with them was they sent them down to New Haven, Connecticut. So New Haven, Connecticut is where they actually had the trial and all that stuff. So if you look it up, you'll see the Customs House, New London, Connecticut. And then if you're looking for the trial itself, it's going to be in New Haven, Connecticut. So they had the trial in New Haven. So I don't know how to explain it, but it's a waterway. Connecticut has a lot of water. You understand what I'm saying? Here, I'll prove it to you. Hold on one second. See what I mean? Connecticut has a lot of water. You see what I'm saying? This is actually a large body of water right here that links up to another body of water. So Connecticut has a lot of water. So as an example, you have channels that go straight out to the Atlantic Ocean. Same thing with Rhode Island. Same thing with Boston. Same thing with a lot of parts of Jersey. You got this waterway after waterway after waterway after waterway. I'm back against the Atlantic Ocean right here. This is a shoreline. So it's very different from inland. I live on the shoreline of Connecticut. So this whole thing is surrounded by beauty and water, ocean, etc., etc., etc. That channel that they came through was directly from the Atlantic Ocean. You understand? So that channel comes right through there. To this day, they have boats parked there. That's why I tell y'all where I used to live at. In my condo, they used to, right across the street, there used to be a gazebo, and there was boats docked all the way down, and there was separate smaller beaches that had names, that had residents or whatever. Then there was one big beach that was huge that people from everywhere come to visit or whatever, from Mass, everywhere. They just come to that beach. And so I used to live in this neighborhood, and these are the same channels that the Amistad ship took. And so when they rebuilt the pier in New London, Connecticut, what they did was they renamed it Amistad's Landing because of that very notion. You had the Amistad ship land there, and they brought it in or whatever. This town has been there since, I want to say 1693, maybe a little bit earlier than that. When you get into Connecticut towns, they've been here for a very long time, 1600s, late 1600s. It's got a lot of history to it. This is when you get out of New York, this is what becomes the New England states. It's still a New York tri-state, especially where I live at, but it becomes the New England states. So these are all the people that had tariffs and were fighting against the king. And in particular, with Connecticut, the Gnostics made this place up, the Gnostic Christians. And then if you go into Rhode Island, there's a different set that made up Rhode Island. So they all have different beliefs, but it's all under one conjurum of mostly Gnostic or Christianity or Protestants. That's what's mostly out here. You know what I mean? And that's what made up the state. So yeah, this is where it happened. If you're still here, this is where it happened, right here in Connecticut. Y'all can look that up. The Amistad ship lands in New London, Connecticut. I even think they had to think about it. And then they had the trial. That's definitely documented. They even have a clip of that y'all can look up or whatever. You'll see it was in New Haven, Connecticut. So yeah, just to answer your question. Yeah, the New England colonies, exactly. The second set of 13 colonies. The first set of 13 colonies were from Pennsylvania on down to Florida. And then the brother, it was John or James, or it's the reverse of either other two. But they were brothers. The brother came back and he discovered, along with y'all call the Pilgrims, and Plymouth Rock is a real place. I've actually visited it. Let me tell you what it is. It's a shoreline that has a whole bunch of rock formations on it. So ships were known to crash into the rocks and stuff like that. So that's why they called it Plymouth Rock. It wasn't a place that they recommended people that were marinas or whatever you want to call it, maritimers. That's the word I'm looking for. They didn't recommend that people that are maritimers come into that. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's why they call it Plymouth Rock. 9 times out of 10, their ship probably crushed up against those rocks and they was unable to leave until they fixed it. So that's why they probably needed the help of the Indians. You know what I'm saying? Hey, where y'all hold the plywood at? We got this hole in the side of this motherfucker from this rock. You understand? You know what I'm saying? What happened? We got a hole in the rock, Geronimo. We got a hole in the boat. You know what I'm saying? What can you do? You know? So yeah, it's a lot of history with this state or whatever. Not just African Americans history, white history, Jewish history. There's a lot of history here in the New England states. But the second set of 13 colonies from Boston down to Connecticut. So that's where you get the what's the name right there. I like doing these little history joints with you. I'm good at that. I don't know why I'm so good at that, but I'm pretty good at that. I know a lot about this state. I know a lot about New York, obviously. I done took y'all on too many trips out there. It was something else I wanted to talk about too outside of that. Oh yeah, like I said, I got a goal that I'm trying to reach or whatever. So if y'all click that link, make sure y'all, donate to that or whatever. I think I can do $600 a month on top of what the little chump change we making or whatever. I know a lot of y'all, when somebody says donate to the channel, whatever, y'all want to tune out and be like, nah, fuck that. I get it. It's okay. It's all right. Ain't nobody begging y'all, but I'm just saying, like I brought up earlier, damn, Tasha K can get motherfuckers to donate to her GoFundMe, pay her legal bills, and I'm on here every day. I mean, what's the difference? Is it gender? Like sometimes I gotta ask that question, and I think sometimes that's what it is. It's gender. It's a lot of ageism going on and shit. I'm like, yo, we're all of different ages on here blogging. There's people on here that's 90 years old fucking blogging. I forgot what that old dude was. He was a comedian. He was one of the top dudes before he passed away not too long ago. So there's all people on here blogging, but this is what we do, and this is how we make our money. So if you donate, let me know. I'll tell y'all what that 600 is for, because I've always done that. We're trying to buy a couple pieces of equipment. I can't be specific on one piece of equipment, but one piece of equipment is a little bit more expensive than anything else, but I think this will be the answer to a new form of vlogging that I want to do for y'all. I'm planning on, I just want to throw this in and I get back to the topic. I plan on doing a different type of vlog, and I can't tell y'all what it is because I don't like giving my thoughts away or whatever, but I think it's going to be a change to this channel. I'm getting tired of this trying to keep up with the gossip, because that's what moves, and that's what gets my CPM moving, you know what I mean? And it's sad that I have to do that. I put a video about something else that's outside of that realm and nobody wants to see it. And I said, well, where's everybody's memory and mind at nowadays? And it's kind of scary. And so if you're not talking about that or trying to expose somebody, that one right there, we ain't gonna expose. So I can't stand when I see somebody's title that says, so-and-so exposed. I'm like, that sounds like some shit that, I don't know. I don't know. When I hear somebody say that, it always sounds like something a girl would say. You know what I mean? Like, I don't picture men saying that. And there's so many men that be on, so-and-so is exposed. It's over for so-and-so. It's not looking good for so-and-so. I said, how the fuck do you know? That's the shit that killed me. Like you talked to son the other day or something like that. Yo, I called Rick Ross. That nigga say he doing hard times. He about to sell the house and shit. Like restaurants ain't doing good. It's over for Rick Ross. It's over for 50 Cent. It's over for Diddy. Remember they were saying that? It's over for Diddy. Nigga only got 2 years. I'm so glad I stayed on the right page with that. That's one thing I can go down in history saying I stayed on the boat even when it had a hole in it. Don't you ever forget that, Puff. You heard me? Goddamn it, City. Don't you ever forget that. I stayed on a boat when a motherfucker had a hole in it and everybody else jumped ship. I was a lone soldier. I wasn't a lone soldier because there was a couple of times you was in danger if you would have touched me down there. Please believe that. I learned that after the third or fourth time. I was like, I'll talk about that some other time. You know what I mean? But when I was down at the Diddy trial, I've got to figure like, all right, niggas ain't donating to me because I'm actually attached to these niggas. And I'm like, but I'm gonna fight the fight anyway and sit down here and vlog because these niggas will make this shit into anything, and that's what they try to do. Kind of find out we only got 2 years. So watch niggas that be talking about it's over for such and such. It's almost like they take pride in that shit. You want to see another black man go down, but you don't want, or another Latin man go down, but you don't want to see none of your oppressors go down. I can tell you a couple people I want to see go down that are not black, that are not Latin, that I think need to be up out there. There's some niggas out here feeding information to the internet about how black and Latin people are that you will blow your mind. You know what I'm saying? And some of them, they're attached to groups and people that you would never think of. In some cases, you got blacks and Latins sitting with these niggas talking. That's why I made that pledge. And y'all got my pledge again. Listen, to all the black people on here, even if you misconstrue me, pay attention to something. I have never invited myself or been invited by white people to sit down with them and talk against you. You know why? Not because of some racism shit, because of the pure simple fact I don't need to do that. Whatever I got to say to these people, I say it my fucking self. And they'll listen to me or they don't listen to me. You understand what I'm saying? But that's my job to talk to them. I don't need your fucking help to talk to them. What the fuck I need your help to talk to these fucking people for? I eat dinner with these people. I party with these people. I don't need your fucking help to talk to black and Latin people. Yeah, sit down at my table and denounce black people too. But I'm black. That makes sense? You look like a fucking tap dancer. I ain't about to tap dance for nobody. All right, so I hope we got that clear. Now, you ain't gonna get me sitting up with you and sitting at round tables. I'm like, yeah, it's terrible how these niggas are. Now, I said it's terrible how these niggas are. Fuck, I need you to help me out
looking like I'm motherfucking Steven from Django. How many escaped while I was gone, Steven? Oh, 2. What the fuck? And you never will see me. I don't give a fuck how mad I get at black and Latin people. Give a fuck. I'll cuss y'all motherfuckers out 20 more times after this. You understand? But you got my promise on that. I ain't never sitting with no motherfucker and engaging and talking about y'all, and I never will. And I never even considered it. And I've had people come into my chat rooms. Y'all seen them, you a long time. They'll be like, yeah, that's right, black people. I say, shut the fuck up. And that's for your fucking back up, motherfucker. I'm talking to, I hand it talking to the niggas. I need no motherfucker to help me. Historically, that's never worked out. Never. Every motherfucker that sat behind, and I'm not trying to be funny. I went into, I think it was a week before last, I went into a high-end hotel looking for someone. Now, I went to the hotel because I was meeting with somebody that's in the music industry, and we were eating there. We wasn't even, nobody was staying there, we were eating there. They have a dining hall there. Many people, y'all know what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna keep it where it is. So I'm going to meet this, but this is a true story. I even filmed it so you can see it, all right? I put it on pause, but you can see it. I went to go meet this person there or whatever, and I'm thinking I'm dressed pretty good, you know what I'm saying? Most places I go to or whatever. There was a stepping fetching nigga up in there, and that's what I would call him. Yasa Masa. I'm gonna tell you the difference between me and a guy like this. So he's the first one I encounter. I can tell by his posture alone, this ain't your regular environment. But I'm gonna let you and see what type of person you are. So I didn't come off confrontational or nothing like that. I say, hey, my name is such and such. I'm formerly of Bad Boy Entertainment. I'm looking for such and such one. I'm not gonna say their name. I'm looking for such and such. So he assumes that I don't know where I'm at. This black gentleman assumes that I don't know where I'm at. Assumes that I've never been to this place before, and I've never had any recollection where he just assumed that I was underneath anybody and everybody was in there. So he said, well, hold on, let me go get my manager. Maybe he can help you. I said, what the fuck you got to get the manager for? I don't need your motherfucking help. This nigga looked like Hulk from motherfucking, he was like, I'll be right back. Lord, 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 Lord. That's what, I heard that playing in the background as he's walking to go get balls. The white folks don't get mad at this. This is how the mentality of some of these motherfuckers are. So he walks back in the back and this white gentleman comes out. And I start talking to the white gentleman who's clearly American, clearly, I want to say to him, I got more in common with this guy than you do. And that would have fucking hurt his feelings. I'm like, I live around people like him. You know what I mean? Like literally all my life. And so he was so, this is the point you got to catch. He was impressed by the fact that I was sitting there and I was able to talk to that guy, and the Jew takes me into the, what's the name, himself. He said, come on, let me walk you in. He walks me into the dining area himself. This is the man that's in charge of the whole shit. And let me tell you how stepping fetching looked at me. You ever seen that motherfucker scene when Django was first pulling up in the Candyland and that motherfucker like this? That's how that bitch nigga was, I swear to God. That nigga was mad as a motherfucker. He was like, you gonna eat at the big house? Ass motherfucker. He eating at the big house? I swear to God, too. And I told my friend about this shit soon as I left. I said, yo, when I went to go meet, you know who the fuck showed up? Steven from Django. Ain't no supposed to be no niggas up in here. I'm the only nigga up in here. Ass motherfucker. You'll find this with many of employees that work at hotels. I would say the MTA employees, not all of them, some of them are great people, but some of them act like this too. You gotta realize some of these people, they come from poverty. And so when they get around white folks, the only thing they know is how to be obedient. And that's a clear difference between somebody that grew up around white people and somebody that's placed in with white people. That's no insult, it's the truth. I've seen Indian people do this. I've seen Asian people do this many of times. And they'll believe because the people they hang with, that, or they try to emulate, that makes them like that. No, it's a lot more than that. It's a lot more than that. So a lot of times, because I'm a little rough, what you'll get people that think because I'm a little rough and my voice is a little rough, that somehow or another I've been a complete failure in life. And I'm like, dog, you a doorman that had to go get boss.
Like, what part do you wake up? You trying to impress because you went to go get boss. When I go home from here, nigga, I can guarantee you where I'm going and where you going, what it look like, is real different. I can just look at you and tell, this is a nigga that's getting off and going back to Queens. This is a nigga that's going back. You understand what I'm saying? Trying to play high society in Manhattan. This is the world you don't belong. You in this world to be a servant. And we got to start taking into contention. Some niggas are just here to be servants. Black, white, polka dot alike. Some niggas are just here to be served. They make better servants than they make motherfucking power makers. Huh? And that's why you get a lot of these guys that be in the game and everything like that, that you think are some of the best guys in the world in this music game. And really, they was never set up to be anything than a pawn or somebody that just leads people into destruction and tragedy on a day-to-day basis on the internet, son. He was a real person. You got to understand what I'm saying. He's a real person. And how many want to bet that that man doesn't have a social media account? I've seen niggas in social media. I know y'all seen it too. Have y'all ever seen these type of niggas that come into the chat rooms or come and comment? They try to make this look like Paul Pureheart or Patty Pureheart, and they'll write in the chat room, that's right, you know, my family, we never do nothing like that. I ain't never did nothing like that. All right, bitch, what you have done? What have you done? What are your secrets? What are your exposed? You know, you start getting into all that shit or whatever. You got to remember that exposed shit got Tasha K owing out all the multi-millions of dollars. She exposed. I would have thought that would have been motherfucking example enough. Evidently it wasn't. God damn it. I would have thought that would have been enough. You know what I'm saying? And that's no disrespect to Tasha. I'm just saying that's a pretty big exposure mistake that you want on out that money now. You understand what I'm saying? Respectfully. So I'm just saying to you, I had to move over to the side. The sun going down and shit. See the sun splatters on me? I'm not going to sit here and keep riding on the fact, yo, everybody's helping Tasha K pay off her legal bills. I ain't going to go into that. That ain't none of my business. Niggas want to donate that money to them. Go ahead. But this don't come on my channel being like, no, he don't deserve no cash apps. I don't care how many times he put up balls. And I don't care how many times he go live. That's just chuck. That's just showing extreme sexism, you know? And sexism and ageism seem to be a thing nowadays. I had a nigga tell me the other day, he was like, yo, but you know what I'm saying? You an OG now, da-da-da. I'm like, nigga, don't put no placement on me, nigga. I don't, what the fuck? Like, nah, y'all gotta stop this YN, auntie, unk. Don't address me as that shit. I ain't your unk, motherfucker. If you call a nigga unk, you'll call a nigga daddy. If a nigga call you unk, listen, from now on, this is new rules. A nigga call you unk, a nigga call you daddy. That's how I feel. Hey, daddy, zaddy, you'll be one of them motherfuckers. I ain't never in my life seen niggas run around calling niggas like, OG. Man, I ain't your OG, nigga. I'm not giving you no directives. I'm not giving you no knowledge. I don't even fucking know half of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm giving you a straight rule. You take it or leave it or whatever, but I'm not your unk, homie. I'm not your motherfucking OG. Stop putting these terms on like y'all. These niggas be out here acting like they vampires. You ever notice that? All this ageism has niggas looking like they vampire. I'm like, what are you, a vampire? That's Cornelda. She is 438 years old. She is the elder of us rest of us vampire clan ass motherfuckers. What is this, the lichens versus the vampires and shit? You got niggas like, of course you're young. You're 19, calling niggas old. You understand what I'm saying? Like, but your mama's 34. She had you when she was 13. Like, of course you're calling niggas old, you know? But like, this ageism thing that people are using is a tactic to try to get people out the way. I think they use that ageism shit on Ebro over there at High 97, to be honest. And I think eventually they're going to use it on this dude over there too, Charlemagne the God. They're probably going to use it on a couple other people too. They're going to use ageism, to kind of cancel out people that would have been the leaders. And it's sad because it's going to be older niggas that help them. Ain't that a motherfucker? I'm telling you, man, like this shit, the game fucked up right now, son. Got niggas out here talking about, yo, let's take them out. We take everybody out for Massa, and then Massa gonna give us a big reward. No, he not. Massa gonna finish you last, as he always has done, nigga. As he always has done, from the Caribbean to the Americas, to Europe. Crush them niggas, and then after you're finished, we'll crush you. What you think, he was gonna leave you? No, that ain't how it work. You ever seen Carlito's Way? It was at one time, it was at one scene with Bachata. Remember Bachata? It was at the very end. He was like, yo, sorry, Carlito Papi, I gotta make a way for myself. You know what I'm saying? After Benny Blanco was shot him or whatever. He said, yo, Benny, and then Bachata looked at Benny Blanco. He said, yo, when we go here? He said, you stay here. You stay here, plan's done. You stay here. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? This is why I need to be back in, and this is why I need to fund it, because I'm the only person that's going to spit this shit, you know? And I think the reason I'm going to spit it is because of pure simple fact, I want to see these guys have a platform as far as hip-hop is concerned, to be able always to express themselves. If my son wants to do hip-hop one day, when I have one, I want him to be able to express himself and be able to do hip-hop. If my daughter wants to do hip-hop, like you're seeing little baby Northwest getting out here with her daddy doing her 1-2 step, I want my kid to be able to do that. You understand what I'm saying? They want to be a musician just like their father was. I want them to be able to have that platform. I want them to know musical theory. I prefer for them to learn an instrument, you know? And when we got this saturation of this violent hip hop being pushed by a lot of these record companies that don't give a fuck if these kids die left or right or whatever, you can clearly see, listen, when little such and such die or little such and such go to jail, ain't there a little such and such to replace them? They got a nigga already ready to replace Dirk. They got a nigga already ready to replace NBA YoungBoy. They got a nigga ready to replace Lil Baby. But you don't believe me, I'm telling you the truth. They got some nigga, who else we got in the lineup we did a meeting with? Any record company want to disagree with me? We'll launch him in 2028. Come on, man, you talking to me. What is the release date? Well, it's potentially 2028. We'll see what goes. And maybe Lil such and such, and maybe he'll stay alive. I heard he's got beef on the south side. That's what Glenda told me at the meeting. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm trying to tell you. You think I'm lying? They don't give a fuck if y'all kill each other or whatever. Not all labels, but the majority of the higher echelon of the label especially that owns the subsidiary or is in business with a major as a subsidiary. This is what happens. You don't have to fucking believe me. I don't care. But I'm just telling you the truth here. This is how these people move and roll and shake. You know? Anybody got any questions for me? Love to hear them if you got any. Also, guys, make sure y'all hit it. Don't log off when I say this. I got to promote myself just like everybody else does. Make sure y'all hit up the Cash App, $STRINGERBELLA0. If you choose not to, you don't have to go anywhere. We're not putting a gun down your throat. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate if y'all would continue to contribute to the channel. I see guys on here that don't talk about nothing and make hundreds of dollars. I've seen multi-millionaires that are rappers turned vloggers and very successful vloggers, and they take cash apps. Nobody says nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. Like, you're a millionaire. Why are you taking cash apps, you know? But it is what it is. Shout out to Kwame Brown. I always ask that question about it. I was like, you're a multi-millionaire. Why do you have a cash app? Like, you know, people will do that. The Brown knows the clout chase after people, whatever. I guess I ain't got nothing to clout chase off of except the little knowledge that I know and the things that I see in the foreseeable future. But for everybody, either hit up that Cash App or hit up the Super Chat, which is up there on the screen. I enabled that because a lot of people said, well, I don't have Cash App. Well, we got the Super Chats there, you know. Mess with that if you want to or whatever. Google gonna make sure I get it, even though they're gonna make sure I only get a partition of the money that y'all be giving. So keep assured that they take away about 30% of the damn money. That's the fucking truth. But I appreciate it if y'all do. There was something else I wanted to talk about too. I didn't want to talk about the war thing because I didn't think that was just a real good topic. I saw there was a ceasefire in Iran and the U.S. have agreed on it. And yeah, you know, that's great. I don't think we should necessarily be over there. I think it's other things Trump should be functioning on or whatever. I think we need to get the economy straight. I'm just going to say these couple quick words. I think we need to get the economy straight. I think we need to get this immigration thing under control. You're seeing cities, especially Democratic cities, my states. My state is a Democratic state, and we're seeing an influx of, we've got a thing that's weird. Like the immigrants that we're seeing, right? It's like a lot of them have never seen anybody brown before in their life. Then you have another set of immigrants that are very good people and stand-up people. The ones that have never seen anybody brown, they just so happen to be some of the most obnoxious, arrogant, belligerent drunks and drug addicts you've ever seen in your life. And so my question comes in, hold on, you came all the way from whatever country you came to come to America to be a drunk? You came to America to be a drunk. You're going to be making hundreds of thousands of dollars if you really put your mind to it. You came to be a drunk. And so we'll see guys running around drunk all freaking day. I mean, like your day over, it's afternoon, you want to have one. I'm talking about 9 o'clock in the morning. And you see this all in the tri-state right now. Jersey, you see it. New York, you definitely see it. I'm just like, that's my only real issue or whatever, is getting that under control. I think we need to take some precautions with immigration, see where the theories are and with some of the languages, with some of the people in Latin America, whether their takes on things. I know some Latin Americans are mad about Maduro, you know, and waiting for his next time in court. And I've seen him down at the courthouse, you know what I'm saying, protesting Maduro when they caught him. So I think it's some things that we need to take in consideration. I did say this one thing, if y'all remember, on one podcast about Trump, and I'll bring it up again. I said you got to be very careful with this thing that you're doing. I was at that time talking about Cuba. I said you got to be very careful what you're doing with that, because sooner or later what will happen is the UN will either offer opposition because they can't directly offer opposition because of NATO agreements and contracts or whatever previously from, I think, like the 1940s or something. But they will bring upon a humanitarian effort. And I think that's the next move they're going to do. So Trump, I would say to you is this. I would watch out, because the retaliation that might come back from NATO, because they're kind of displeased with Trump, I ain't gonna lie. Well, the response that might come back from them is saying, okay, well, Cuba and Iran, what's going on in Iran is a humanitarian effort. Once they do that, the other coalitions within NATO or whatever, they have a vote in the say and whatever, you know, it may be. You can use your imagination with the rest. But yeah, you could have that problem where you have a humanitarian process come about or whatever. So that's my next time saying that or whatever. I'm not saying you should stop it or whatever. I'm just telling you what the play is. You know? Yo solo ain't it ain't gonna never change, but I live here in America, you know? And it's crazy because many of these countries, especially Cuba, I'll just give you a quick example, have always been lied to. The people have been lied to, they're hungry, they're starving or whatever, always been like that since the 1960 and the Cuban Missile Crisis. The embargoes have been there. Barack Obama attempted to go back there, and there was some negotiations going on at the time with Raul Castro, and it didn't go through. Raul decided that he wanted to kind of continuation of what his father had done, his brother Fidel had done or whatever, and it was quite considerate, like, I don't know, this didn't make sense. So they bought in an embassy, they built some housing there, whatever. The housing in the embassy is now sitting basically vacant. You can go look this up for yourself. It's vacant. There's no personnel there. United States military personnel, in other words, it's just an empty shell that's just sitting there. And it's sitting equested to a part of Cuba that's very affluent, you know what I mean? And so, you know, that side of town, you're going to necessarily have some wackos coming over there, you know what I mean, trying to, you know, set it off or something. The poverty that's in Cuba is beyond recognition that most of you guys couldn't even consider. I'm talking about people walking around barefoot. Sometimes people walk around with just shorts on, no nothing else. You know what I mean? Not even underwear, because they can't afford it. You go into certain buildings, there's 48 plugs conditioned to run about, I don't know, 20 people's different appliances or whatever, which could potentially cause a fire. Somehow or another, the power grids are not doing that. Now, this is when Maduro and Venezuela were offering oil as a supplement for whatever reason to Cuba. And I believe the Russians were too. The Russians always had something to do with it. I don't know what their totality was in it, but I heard Russia come up a couple of times too. But every time that you get somebody that came into constituency as far as like whatever in government or whatever, there's always something about people lying to Cuban people and telling them, oh, yo, well, you know what? It's going to get better this time, or it's going to get better this time or whatever. And they're always lied to. They really are. And so that's kind of the vigor that Trump has right now. I can kind of feel it about Cuba itself. He's like, nah, we're tired of that. They talked about it was going to be something different every time. You know what I'm saying? Listen, do me a favor, right? Do me a very good favor. First of all, I don't need no chapstick. That's a sun. That's a sun behind me. See the sun setting? See the sun setting? Okay. So what you're seeing is the light off my lips. Second of all, y'all boys got to stop getting online looking at boys' lips. You're not my mama. All right? That's something my mama would tell me. Go put some chapstick on. I don't live in that world or that mentality. You understand what I'm saying? I've been putting chapstick on my lip the whole entire life. Don't come in here with that shit. I can't stand when men do that. Put some chapstick on your lips, girl. That's how you sound. Fucking crazy. Y'all gotta stop living by these nigga rules. We ain't in the front stoops of the projects. You understand what I'm talking about? We ain't on the front stoops of the project. We all grown now. You understand? We just be out here 40 years old. Talking about you need this, I don't live by them nigga records. I don't live by them nigga records. Bobby, you getting on my nerves now. Talking about she rubbing off dust and go fuck yourself, bitch. Bitch insults me and then turns around and says, God bless. That's the first bitch in hell. Anytime a bitch sit around, how about some hair grease? Yeah, here come the niggas. Here come the niggas, y'all. I told you, that's a nigga's job to interrupt. Anytime in history you ever hear a motherfucker's interrupted something when somebody black or Latin is speaking and they come through and interrupt it with some goofy shit, always be assured it's a nigga. Oh, that's a nigga's job. That's a nigga's job, not black people, niggas. That's a nigga's job. Let me tell you what I mean by niggas. Black and Spanish niggas are a unique breed. This is usually people or men or women that don't have very much ambition, have given up on life or whatever the case may be, never been accomplishing much. And so what they do is they go around and they start trouble. And this is what they find in contention and they find for shits and giggles. So they'll sit around coming in, you need some chapstick, bitch, you ain't my mama, shut the fuck up. You ain't my woman, you ain't my wife. If you ain't my woman or you ain't my wife, shut the fuck up about anything with my appearance, bitch. I don't know you. You are a stranger. You understand? I don't want no motherfucker's opinion about nothing, especially if you ain't hitting the cash yet. That's the shit that be killing me. Put some money behind it. Donate $100, bitch. I go get 12 chapsticks. Broke ass hoe. Always be them broke hoes talking the most. You understand what I'm saying? You know your money gone right now. You had to go buy baby and them some motherfucking groceries. Shut the fuck up. You always got these people like these niggas that be online, and I gotta say it like that, they niggas. Their thing is to come in and interrupt anything that you're talking about positive, but promote and support anything that's negative within the culture. This is their job. If y'all pay attention, y'all will see this on a regular basis online happen right in front of you. So no, I don't have no space for niggas. Never have, never will. I got a space for black and Latin people. You understand? But like if you walking around, you ever notice when a black dude walk past you nowadays and they jealous of you for some reason or another, niggas start screaming rap lyrics that's the most violent ones he can find. You ever had that happen to you? I ever notice when a certain types of black girls, I call them niggas too, they walk past you and it's passive aggressive or it's something, and like they think this is cute. I don't think some bitch trying to challenge me is cute. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not smiling or nothing. I don't like that's reminiscent of a guy. I don't fuck guys. You see what I'm saying here? So it's like, you know, this passive aggressive taunt and tropes that people be pointing at each other in the community. They be turning around talking about the culture. What fucking love is it in that if every time I see you it's passive aggressive? Yo, I know niggas is over here beefing. I know it's a problem over here. I just ain't figured it out yet. Yo, you know what I'm saying? You look like, what's our homeboy's name in Friday Part 3? Damon, when you went out to me, yo, I got my shank on me. You know what I'm saying? Shit pop off. He's like, man, this all my folks are like them type niggas. You understand? So you gotta be aware. There's people out here that's online that come from pure filth. Pure filth. Only thing they know is destruction. Only thing they know is chaos. Only thing they know is beefing. Only thing they know, and they will live their life like this when anybody that looks exactly like them, but will not have that same vigor and will stand up straight if it's somebody white and be like, yes, sir, Mr. Yes, sir. How are you? You ever seen a nigga do that shit? You say, hey, what's up, man? They won't even speak to you. I've had people I've said that are black that I've said hi to, and they will not speak to me. They will walk past me and run into somebody white and be like, that's how much they want to fit in. And I'm like, yo, nigga, that's not the way you fit in. The way you fit in is you gotta live like places where I live at. The way you fit, I ain't even trying to be funny. You gotta have some accomplishments under your belt. Just kissing ass is not gonna be enough. And I go out to blacks, Asians, Latinos, and many of people I see doing this mega ass kissing. And I wish more white men would be on their dean, especially the type of white guys I know. The white guys I know would have been told, but I wish more white guys would be on their dean instead of accepting this and having a brand new pet. Because that's what a lot of these people look like. They look like pets. Every time I see and I ain't trying to be funny, but a lot of times when I see Asian dudes or Indian dudes or whatever, they're not invested in themselves. or a lot of black dudes too, they're not invested in themselves in the scenario. Like, okay, these are the guys I'm working with, these are the guys I'm doing business with, and I'm representative of that or whatever, my street culture, whatever. No, what they're doing is they more so want to be accepted and be the pawn, like the lower tier of everything going on underneath it. So meaning like, let me explain what I mean. Like, instead of saying, hey, I'm the leader of the pack here, or I'm one of the part of the leader amongst 6 or 7 leaders, they rather take the position of, and this is that a lot of black, Latin, and Spanish dudes nowadays, they rather take the position of being up under niggas and just saying, yo, I hang with them. Anytime you do that, bro, you set yourself up. Trust me, I come from bosses, man. Who gonna say Puff ain't a boss? You can say what you want to about it. Like, anytime you do that, you can say it one time starting out, I did that. But the point is, I was doing it for blacks. I wasn't doing it for whites. And one thing that white people have, and I know this from growing up with Greeks and Italians, one thing they have a keen nose for is a brown-nosing motherfucker. Oh, white folks can smell that motherfucker from a mile away. You gotta remember, in some cases, y'all been doing this to the granddaddies and great-great-grandfathers even back then in your lineage. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen the movie Django Unchained? That's right, boy. Big, boy. Look, she ain't gonna be worth nothing now with her back beat up. You know what I'm saying? You go do that. Master Broken ain't gonna like this. You remember that scene with Django? Y'all got to elevate your mind a little bit more than the current status that y'all got it. Y'all reverted back to the primitive instead of advancing to where y'all need to be at. And I ain't gonna let y'all motherfuckers go out like that. So you may not like what the fuck I gotta say. I tell you, maybe a strong possibility we gotta eradicate the nigga mentality out here because it's not for the good. And I'm not talking about eradicating the men mentality. I'm talking about the nigga mentality. Nigga mentality states that you go out and you do stupid shit and persevere and being passive aggressive to your own kind. Being a man is, yo nigga, we not going for that over here. What the fuck are you talking about? That's totally different. Totally different, you know? Y'all take a little walk with me, man. I'm gonna give you some coffee real quick. Y'all wanna give me some coffee, man, make sure to donate to the Cash App real quick. $STRINGERBELLA80. I would gladly appreciate it if y'all donate to the cause. You understand what I'm saying? We got a $600 goal right now. We're trying to get a new piece of equipment that's kind of expensive, but y'all know when I get these pieces of equipment, I utilize them. I always do a live and thank the people for supporting or whatever, but that's chump change. I see some of these guys on here receive hundreds of dollars a year, and I just don't know how they do it, talking the stuff that they talk. But we're gonna let them push on, and we want to push my channel on. So for everybody, you know what I'm saying? I know some of y'all may be in good standing right now, whatever, maybe tomorrow. Make sure y'all hit the Cash App and support the channel. I'm gonna start doing a lot more lives. I wasn't at first, but I think I need to because the pure simple fact it's getting kind of tedious to do all the edits. Like I'm spending my whole day doing edits, you know what I'm saying? And it's oh my God. Some of them take me, I'll be honest with you, some of them take me about 20, 25 minutes. And then some of them, it'll take me like an hour. Like some of y'all don't even realize, some of them I'll have a whole different concept and treatment. And then at the end of it, I'll be like, this don't go together that good. And then switch it. So I do that quite often, excuse me, y'all. I do that quite often. So make sure y'all support the channel. That's all, you know what I'm saying? Support that and I deliver. I want to do more traveling like I used to, moving around. Like I told you, I live in Connecticut. So I'm right outside New York, but it costs money to be in New York. It's very expensive nowadays. So I need money for that travel so I can get back to doing the travel vlogging. Summer's coming up. Someone want to be moving and shaking. The other thing is, there's one piece of equipment that will definitely improve not only the aspect of what we have here, but I can be able to do more hands-free. You understand what I'm saying? So make sure you guys go in there, donate to that, hit it up. $STRINGERBELLA80. Support the link, man, you know? And also there's I don't like it, but I'll say it anyway, the super chat there. But if you click my link, it'll directly bring you to the page where you don't even have to do that. That's why I set it up like that. So it's not like the normal, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like a normal Cash App is where you just go and donate to the Cash App. This link is set up in a way where you don't have to sign up for it. You can just use your card and just donate. You don't have to sign up for Cash App. So that's the difference between my link that I have up here right now. So make sure y'all support that, man, because we need it. But I'm gonna start doing some longer lives. I might even do another one tonight, talk about a couple other things. I just gotta find in the time period I work in. Like, sometimes I can do these lives and I have a crap load of people in here, you know? And then sometimes I'll do them and I have 10 people here, you know? And I could be talking about sometimes one of the biggest subjects out. And it just, I don't know if it's YouTube doesn't want me out there or I need to go live longer. I'm not sure what it is. I'm thinking maybe moving towards the future here, maybe I need to go live for a little bit longer perhaps. And maybe that might work out a little bit more. But we're gonna work it out. I don't have time to do all the editing. I got so much stuff going on. I'm writing new music. Yes, I write music still. I'm writing new music, exploring, trying to get something else going as far as film. I had somebody reach out I reached out to them rather, but I had somebody speak back with me about possibly doing some things, coming on some auditions, stuff like that. So getting back into that. So that's something else I'm looking forward to. And that costs money, you know what I'm saying? So what I'm absolutely telling y'all is, if you know the history of my channel and you've seen it, I've taken everybody everywhere. Diddy trial, Trump trial. I'm gonna upload something for that too. Who else trial was I at? Harvey Weinstein's trial, Jonathan Major's trial. I've covered a lot of shit on here and never been, in my opinion, properly compensated as others were. At similar things that they followed behind me, they did. And Mr. Dennis Brown, shout out to Mr. Dennis Brown. That's why I originally got the idea from hitting up these, these different cases and stuff like that. And I learned a lot from it. I really did. So shout out to Dennis Brown. He's definitely one of the, I don't know if you want to say cultivators, but definitely covering Cardi B and Tasha K's case. It was unprecedented. Shout out to Choke No Joke too. You know what I'm saying? Choke No Joke will always be a friend. I know you got your little crevices with Dave Dash and your little crevices with Jay-Z and all that or whatever. I don't get into that beefs too much because it's none of my business. That's not my camp. So that's for one. Number two, I'm one of these guys, as far as the business is concerned, I'm one of these guys that just feel like you need to mind your business in certain situations. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people don't like Choke No Joke. Don't think I'm a stranger to that. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I don't know, man. I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? I don't see me just beefing with the nigga to be beefing with the nigga like, because y'all say so. You know, that's corny to me. So that's why I said, once again, an example of, just because you don't like the person don't mean that I don't have to like the person. And I think that's a sad thing about it. We got to the space where everybody thinks that they have to dislike somebody that's certain vlog or whatever just because of your personal discretion. Because he said one thing. I know people to say one thing that people don't like, and they're like, nah, we're not dealing with him anymore. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. So it is what it is. So guys, feel free. Make sure y'all hit up that cash app. If y'all do, let me know. So we can get this equipment and shit. I don't want to divulge how I want to do it, but we're going to be revisiting some places. That's for one. But yeah, let me give my little declaration, then I get out of here because it's a little cold out. We're going to be visiting some places again, revisiting some places as well. And I got some other things set up. I'll give you an example. How when I took y'all to where Malcolm X was shot and killed, down in the ballroom in Harlem, when I took y'all over there, I went the first time and I didn't get the footage that I wanted to. In fact, I had filmed some footage and told you guys at the time, this is the part where Malcolm was shot at, and it wasn't. It was actually on the second floor. So I went up to the second floor and I had a tour guide this time that gave me all the information. I'm gonna find that live and I'm gonna share it again for y'all. I might just re-upload it because a lot of people don't understand, but there, I've taken people where Biggie was born and raised, well, not born and raised, but where Biggie lived at, and Kev's neighborhood and all that in Brooklyn. I've taken everybody over to where Nas was at, Queensbridge. I've taken everybody to Mosque. So this channel, we've always been like traveling, I guess you want to say. Like I don't really do lives in the house and stuff like that or whatever. It's never been my forte. But it's definitely there, man. We're going to revisit a couple places this summer, try to move around or whatever. We just need y'all help. One thing I want to do is I want to stop vlogging with the phone. And that's all I'm gonna say. I want to stop vlogging with the phone. So there's like 2 or 3 pieces of equipment that I really need to get. And as y'all know, when I say I'm gonna buy it, I buy it. So make sure y'all subscribe. I mean, not subscribe. Make sure y'all donate to the cause right there, man. Like people get confused and think I need that money to buy clothes. Somebody else took some room and talking about, he fucking with drugs. I said, when the fuck you ever seen me fucking with drugs, nigga? Like, what you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I never had a history of no shit like that. So for me, it's like, the fuck are you talking about? You know, and that's what people will do to you in order to, like, how do you just, it's beyond me how a nigga that don't even know you, never been around you, never spoke to you, never been friends with you, he could just be like, well, so-and-so said this, and they will believe it. They will believe it. I'm like, yo, what kind of tip-tap-toe motherfuckers are these, man? Like, it's crazy to me. So it is what it is. But we want to revisit a couple places that we had visited before. I want to take y'all through a little bit more thorough, you know what I mean, with it. There's some certain people that I tapped into at certain ones of these spots that you're going to like what I do. I say there's 3 or 4 people trying to recreate what I do, but I don't know, it just don't work the same. That's all I say, it don't work the same. Other than that, y'all, I'm out. Make sure y'all hit up the Cash App. I appreciate y'all spending the time with me. I'm gonna leave this live open, like I did the other one. I just want to see the offset, fast recovery. You know what I mean? I think more of y'all need to say that too, but I want to say offset, fast recovery to you, my friend. Hopefully you make it out of your situation. Like I said, when you come home, just make sure you ain't hanging with everybody like that. Stop gambling, stop hanging at the casino, check in with Cardi, see how she doing. You know what I'm saying? You've been up in the Bronx, you already know what it is. All right, Georgia boy. Cardi, same thing with you. Call that nigga, bitch. I'll talk to y'all later.